The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
Chosen breed, you don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Shock Joxx. About choked on myself. Everybody, good introduction there, Kev. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Shock Joxx Sports Podcast. Hit the cues up there so we can hear each other. There you go. I'm sure y'all can hear me a lot better now, can't you? Good afternoon. Kevin Hastings here. Shock Joxx, episode 81. We've got NBA playoffs to talk about. We've got NFL previews to go over. We've got Cow Patty Bingo to get into. And more, Hunter. You're watching Braves baseball right now, and you can listen to that on KTC. What's going on in the Braves game, Hunter?
They were up 3-1.
Up 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to make playoffs? They're
going
to win the World Series?
Possibly.
Possibly. He's feeling good about that.
Possibly.
Andy, you're a Braves fan?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. How you feeling about your Braves this year? Better or worse than last year?
I don't watch enough to comment, but
yeah.
If they win, I'll be happy.
Turn Andy up, Chris up a little bit, probably more than us, Hunter. We're probably down here, and we'll go from there. Let's see on the docket. I want to read some news across the headlines before we get into what we're going to talk about. Cam says his Patriots fit is a match made in heaven. The Dolphins officially named Ryan Fitzpatrick as the starter today. Of course, we talked Saturday, Hunter, about Foles did not get named the starter over Trubisky. Let's see. Sean Payton says the NFL canceled their Clowney trade idea. They were trying to do a sign and trade, and the NFL did not like what they came up with. And did you see what happened is where I want to start. This will be quick, in the U.S. Open with Djokovic.
I did see that.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Hunter? He was he was clearing. He was just clearing a ball, wasn't he? Was he mad or was he trying to clear it?
Well,
he might have been a little.
He was a little upset.
Okay,
and he was
hit
clearing
a little
it
harder than he needed to.
Yeah,
but he was not intentionally trying to hit that.
Right.
Agreed.
There's no way
Agreed.
he intentionally hit that shot.
No.
So he basically got rid of a ball, Hunter, and it hit a line judge in the throat, and she went down like she'd been sniped.
Yes.
I hope she's okay. And I know when the ball is at 100 miles per hour, it's got to hurt like crazy.
Yeah.
40, maybe not. But still, it's got to be a shocker, I guess, to get hit in the throat by somebody.
Right.
If you're
A professional.
What was she looking? Did she
I don't
see
think
it
she was
coming?
paying attention.
No.
Okay.
I don't think she saw it. I don't think so.
He wasn't looking where he hit it.
She wasn't.
And
looking
she
at
wasn't
him.
looking,
Yeah.
but he's the one penalized.
It was a little. I thought it was a little harsh. Maybe take a point or something, but.
Well, I mean, that's the question. I'm not, that familiar with tennis and how serious that is. I can understand you don't, you don't throw a ball at the referee, or you don't throw, or I guess that's the theory behind it. But again, was it intentional? Was it not?
Not intentional. I read the rules that they posted at I guess technically he should have been thrown out, but it seems awful harsh.
It does seem harsh for a lose a game, maybe.
Well, it was 6-5 in the first set. If they'd have said, "Okay, you forfeit the first set, you're going into the second set down 1-0." Okay, I think a lot of people have been like, "All right, that's fair. You penalize him." But
Set's pretty big too.
But they were getting toward the end of the set anyway. Yeah. It's not like it was 1-0. It was 6-5.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is harsh.
It's weird getting disqualified for something that's accidental. So in basketball, Andy, you know for a fact, you slam that basketball down and catch it, you'd almost never get called for anything. You slam that basketball down, it goes above your head, what do you get? Teed up real quick.
You don't get ejected, though.
Right.
Well, but, okay, would you get ejected if you took the basketball, slammed it down, and it hit a ref? You might get ejected
with no
for that.
techs.
I'm
Maybe even
maybe.
not.
I'm saying maybe.
I agree.
I'm saying maybe.
It's just weird total disqualification over. In NASCAR, when you break a rule, they just send you to the back for the start of the race. You
could. Who was Blaney?
Blaney this week. Yeah, there was actually 4 cars to the back. He was the main one. He had the weight balance still in his car from setting it up, and so they got in trouble for that. But yeah, to me, a set if you want to be really penalized with them, a set in tennis is big.
That's pretty harsh.
No, it is, but it's better than getting DQ'd.
Right. That's way better than
especially DQing the best guy left.
Yeah. Let's DQ the 1 seed.
The one seed who's the biggest draw.
I saw something that this would be the first tournament, the first major that hadn't been won by
6 years.
Him, Nadal, or Federer in.
Oh, are they all out now?
3 or 4 years, yeah. Several years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Interesting. If Serena gets knocked out, then that'll be would be big too. She's up. She just lost her second set 7-6. So they're going to the third 1-1. She won the first one 6-3. She's going against Maria, and these women tennis players. Sakari, I'm going to guess, is her name. So I don't know. I want to see what y'all thought about the tennis shot, the accidental tennis shot to the referee's throat on that.
Blew any chance of me watching the finals if he gets that.
Well, in the NFL, like if you're a player and you run over a referee, there's no penalty, really, unless they think you smoke them or something like that. With that said, should the NFL referees, I know they moved them from the middle, the official in the middle on the defensive side moved him to the offensive side behind the line, but with that guy in particular and even others, do you think they should even wear some type of a helmet? Hockey guys do.
They don't get. I don't see them get hit enough to warrant wearing a helmet. Any kind of maybe a personal preference if you wanted to wear a little padded something.
Yeah.
But how often?
If you was in the middle there, would you want a helmet?
I might want one.
If you was there in the middle, I know they took that spot out, but I know everybody's kind of on the sides now and a little bit out of it.
I want a tank if they stuck me right in the middle.
But Hunter, you see some of these guys in high school who they put them there in the middle, and not all of them are in shape, I'm going to say.
That's the problem. That's the problem. If they're not in shape, they really shouldn't be in the middle.
Most of them NFL guys.
I mean, it's the same thing when, growing up, I was playing soccer. The center ref is considered part of the field, so if the ball hits him, I'm serious. If you nail him and he doesn't, just drop down, just play on.
Play on. Okay.
That's the center ref. So if you nail him, and unless he's down, just play on.
Well, as soon as Jokic hit it, his face was like,
he's like, uh-oh.
Oh shit! So what do you think, Hunter? Kick him out or take a set?
I could care less. It's difficult. These are professional tennis players. It'd be different if I went out there and swung a tennis racket and it went and hit the line ref. It's like I expect that to happen. This dude doesn't know what he's doing. This guy. Come on now. You're a professional.
I can't hit her.
You gotta keep it within. If you can't keep it within the court, then obviously there was maybe a little bit something extra in play there, and I think emotions had to deal with it. But like I said, maybe put glass panes up beside them so to protect them a little bit more. They just sit there in that almost lifeguard spot. So.
Have you even seen it? That's not the one they hit.
It was
one of the side judges, line
and that shows you just how much I really care about tennis. I don't. So, no, I haven't seen the hit. I bet you. But look, I won't sit here and say it probably didn't hurt. Have you seen some of those serves coming off at 120 miles per hour? So
it had a little steam on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't 100 miles.
No, I know. Obviously, it was. If they were obviously volleying it back and forth, Still, no one wants to get slapped in the face at maybe 30 miles per hour by a ball.
That's what I'm saying. It probably just scared her more than anything, don't you think? Here, I'll pull it up on her a little bit. I mean, it's just I hate to laugh, but when someone, the slow reaction of somebody, boom, and down goes Frazier. And you're disqualified from the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he knew as soon as he hit it, he had screwed
Boom.
up. He knew it. He knew he'd screwed up.
Is that wrong for me to laugh?
Nah, hey, you got to keep your head on a swivel. If you're working down on the court, why would you look away?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is
Keep your head on a
like,
swivel. Keep your head on a swivel.
Where's the ball
I'm
boy?
guessing the ball boy's to the left.
Well, you got to be
So
on that.
she's not the ball boy.
Get
She's
your glove
the
and
she's the line judge.
Get your glove and get in the game, ball boy.
The ball boy sent him one over, and you can see it from the ball boy bounces him, and then that's when Jokic hits it back in that direction and just hammered it over there to the ball lady. As soon as this ad ends, I'll see if I can get a different angle for Hunter to check this out. I think it's funny. Boom.
Okay, this fisheye angle's terrible.
Yeah. So now Jokic is getting told he has to leave. Let's see a replay. Oh, this is just all the videos. This isn't a good. Why would he not show me the good shot? Come on.
I'll just be playing out with
That's
other
funny.
bullshit. I mean, seriously.
I think so,
If
too.
he would have absolutely reared back
And
like,
aimed at her.
yes,
It's not what happened.
Yes, I mean,
Definitely not what happened.
he put a little mustard on it. So what?
And you see Jokic's like, oh, shit.
I mean, he put a little mustard on it. You can't sit there and tell me good and well that he purposely wanted to just nail a woman with a tennis ball.
From the U.S.
No,
Open.
it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't on purpose.
See, the ball kid's over there in the corner. See, he rolled him one. At the very first thing, part of the scene, you can see in the corner, the ball boy is picking the balls up. And he goes to hit another one over there and kind of shanked it like a golf
he did,
club.
didn't
He
he?
just shanked it right into her throat.
Tennis, because of this act, you have not gained a new fan in me.
So Hunter's against the tennis. I like the tennis. We'll have JP break it down Saturday and see what he says. That's the only sport that JP
I guarantee
watches.
you didn't even see it.
I know he didn't either see it either, Hunter. All right, we'll do NBA playoffs in a little bit. Let's talk NFL. It's NFL week, guys. This is the standings. I didn't give you this, guys, but this is the NFL standings of the last decade. So this is a new decade. Who do you think? Which division is the best, and which is the worst of the last decade? Off the top of your heads,
What do they consider the best? What are they going by?
Like
record. This is your
total
record,
wins.
regular season record.
You talking about just total
Which
wins?
division?
Total
had-
wins.
which division has the most
had the most
wins?
wins? Which one had the least wins?
Had the least. Well, considering that New
East.
England's been the only good team in the AFC East, I'm saying that's probably one on the bottom.
Or the
Okay.
AFC South is probably down there.
You think the South is down low, the East is down low?
So
What
the
do you
NFC
think?
West up top.
Okay.
And
Give me one more guess for up top. There's only 5 more divisions. Pick one.
All right, so up top,
maybe
I actually might go AFC North
Okay.
because at different times, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati have been in the playoffs. Now, granted, Cleveland sucks.
I'll give you the worst to the best.
Okay.
The number 8 seed, worst division in football, the AFC South.
South.
Okay, you got that.
284 wins. The best win total, the Texans and the Colts tied for first at 82 wins.
So, in other words, 8.2 a year, just
Roughly.
basically average.
Yep. The next worst record in football is the NFC East and the 7th spot.
NFC.
In the 6th spot is the AFC North. In the 5th spot is the AFC West. In the 4th spot is the NFC South. 3rd spot, NFC West. The number 2 spot, NFC North. And the number 1 division in the last 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the AFC East.
Is that
New
just-
England's really carrying them
that
that
must
much.
be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Wow.
they have 4 more wins than the NFC North.
Oh, not a guess.
No, I wouldn't have either. Wow.
The second place team, the Bills, is 18 games under 500, and they still have the best record in football because of how good the Patriots be. Patriots have 125 wins in the last 10 years. The next closest, got a guess?
Steelers?
Pittsburgh? Yeah.
That's one of them. They got a tie with somebody else. The Packers.
Okay, great. Okay.
102 wins. Packers actually have one less loss with 2 ties, so the Packers have the second best record than the Steelers. But they are 23 games behind the Patriots.
And you know what all 3 of them teams have in common? 3 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
They got
Brady,
championships too, yeah.
Roethlisberger, Rodgers. There you go.
Looking across at the board, the top teams, Seahawks, they've won a Super Bowl. Chiefs won a Super Bowl. Eagles won a Super Bowl. Steelers won Super Bowls. They got a Super Bowl quarterback, like you just said. Brady, Rodgers in the other one. And the AFC South, Texans, Colts, Titans, and Jags just sitting there in mediocre quarterback land for their whole, for a while. Peyton was pretty good, and Love was pretty decent, I guess.
I was going to say, the problem the Colts had, after Peyton left, Andrew Luck was good when he was healthy. The problem was he just wasn't healthy consistently.
Now, guys, we've got here in front of us, this is the ESPN simulated standings that they went through and simulated all the games and the teams. And Hunter, just looking at it, myself and them, we have 5 of the 7 playoff teams in the NFC. And in the I have 5 of the 7 in the AFC too. I do not have Chargers. They have the Chargers. They have the Bills 11-5. And we talked a little bit before the show. They got the Patriots at 5-11, but I think that they did that with Stidham at quarterback and not Cam.
They have 10 of my playoff teams.
So you got 10 of the 14. I think I got 10 of the 14 too. So
every single one of them except for one was out of the NFC.
Well, we're kind of in the same boat. I gave you guys last year's schedule. I know me and Hunter don't have that in front of us because this is what we did Saturday. So basically, guys, this is the way the NFL playoffs have worked throughout the years. There's been 12 teams, right? On average, almost every year, 6 teams come back, 6 teams go out.
It's about 50% turnover.
It is.
Yes.
Sometimes it's 5. So this year, though, they added 2 more playoff teams.
Right.
So that's going to reduce that number. So we're going to say 4 teams come out. Okay? So you have to look at last year's playoff teams. That's on the top of that one sheet I gave you there. And take out 4 total teams from the playoffs. 4 of them are not going to make it next year. And then you got to replace it with 6 new teams because we've got an extra team in the AFC and the NFC. So this is how you got to pick. This is how we do our picks on our show and how we get to. It's not just what we feel. It's you've got to take 4 out.
Okay.
And replace it with 6. So I'll let you guys kind of look over that in a minute, make your own notes, take out who you want to take out as me and Hunter go over some of ours. All right, Hunter, you got your picks. You know what we didn't do Saturday? I'm the only one that gave him a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you are the only one that gave the Super Bowl.
The way you talked, I assume you got the Chiefs.
Yes.
Is that?
That's my Super Bowl winner. I don't care who comes out of the NFC. The Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl back to back.
So what do you got in the NFC then?
I heard. Who was I listening to coming down?
You know what I heard? They weren't talking about Cow Patty Bingo. I know that.
No, they weren't. And no, they were not talking about that. I cannot remember who it was. I want to say it was Peter King.
Yeah,
but he said his Super Bowl prediction was Baltimore and Tampa Bay beating Baltimore. Okay. Obviously, I don't have Baltimore in at the AFC. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. They returned 90% of their offense, plus they got Carlos Hyde-Elaire, or however that last name, Typhon. Their defense is back. I mean, they signed their big man, Chris Jones. So, to me, until they just have to break up this team because of salary problems that they'll run into maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, but they've locked Travis Kelce in. So if they got to let go of Tyreek or any other wide receiver, just draft the fastest one coming out of college. To me, this just works for a long time as long as Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are there and the defense is at least close to the top 15.
We could have Sage Stratton in Kansas City next year.
Dude, listen, and I'm not just going to say that. Like, anything could happen. They just draft wide receivers because they know they're a dime a dozen. If they're fast, they fit the system. That's why Mecole Hardman worked as good as he did when he first came in. So to me, the Chiefs are a lock, maybe not just this year, but next year as well, until they have to break up this core nucleus or another team out there just absolutely makes crazy moves and is just substantially better. Ravens are close. They're not quite there. I don't know about Lamar Jackson throwing the ball going forward.
I've got 13 wins for the Chiefs. ESPN had them at 11. Listen, I like the running quarterbacks are fine and dandy until you get to the playoffs. Again,
we saw what Tennessee did to him.
Chris, I was kind of my comparison Saturday. We weren't even talking football. We was talking basketball. I compared Giannis to a Cam Newton, into where in the regular season, your defense probably isn't set up or to stop a running quarterback up beasting you every game like that. You know, in the NFL, most teams are throwing the ball.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that if you got a 16-game schedule, you look at your schedule, you may have 2 or 3 with running quarterbacks, and you're just so your defense isn't like. So in high school, you're thinking we got to stop that running quarterback. Like almost all high schools are like that.
Right.
In NFL, you're not set up that way. So when you face these teams in the regular season, sometimes you might not put your full game plan into. We've got to stop him no matter what. Let's try to do this, this, and that, and fit within our system. So what I mean by that is that Cam and Lamar Jackson can beat teams in the regular seasons when their defenses aren't really 100% prepared to stop that type of offense. It's how Giannis can dominate on the basketball court. And what I'm saying is that once you get to the postseason, now everything's like, well, now we're going to concentrate on this guy. We're going to watch every piece of tape, every single thing they're going to do, and running the ball. Same thing with passing to, say, McCaffrey on a swing pass. Running the ball with the quarterback is usually a ditch effort for a defense. So if you're your defense, for example, you're going in the game, I'm going against Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mahomes can run, but damn, that's what I wanted him to do before he does anything else. So that's my last-ditch effort is what I mean.
So if I had to look at it, though, the Chiefs are coming out of the AFC to me regardless. I don't see anybody really matching them. I don't see anybody that can put points up to equal them. Because if you wanted to say Deshaun Watson and the Texans, Bill O'Brien once again sabotaged them and got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. I don't trust them at all.
Trust Bill
that's why I didn't put the Texans in the playoffs.
I've got them.
But out of the NFC, it is going to be very tough for me to not pick Tampa Bay. And it's not just because Tom Brady. It's not just because of Tom Brady. I think he is what makes them the Super Bowl team. But last year with their last 2 games, they were 7-7, and Jameis had thrown 30 interceptions. So you're telling me you got a quarterback that's thrown 30 interceptions in his last 69 games. So he's not even throwing 30 interceptions in a season.
Yeah,
he's coming in here. He's got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, and we got, Gronk is coming out. He might just be a red zone guy. Ronald Jones, Shady McCoy will just catch out of the backfield. Oh, wait a minute. Leonard Fournette got released. He just signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the offense is loaded.
Yep.
All the defense has to do is just play about what they were last year, maybe just 1, 2, or 3 more points better.
They got to do a little bit better than last year. Hunter, they were as god-awful got last year. Let me pull it up.
Well, so let's say they give up maybe 4 points less than they did last year.
I'm with you. Like, they can just – and Andre's, he's a Bucs fan. He's on it, too, as far as that goes. But
because I look at it, the only team offensively that might be able to match them with just as many skill players is Dallas. And I don't throw Dallas if I could pick up the whole team and throw them. And I know I wouldn't be able to throw them very far. I don't trust Dallas as a whole because – it's almost the Jerry Jones curse at this point. As long as he's there, they're always going to have their hopes up, and I don't see him really getting that far. Last year, they had every opportunity to get in, even with Philadelphia being so injured, and they still couldn't do it. So until Dallas proves me wrong, then I don't see them having a shot, even as offensively talented as they are. I think Tampa Bay will be the hardest team to outscore, and we'll see how the other team that I think would give them a fit will do week 1, because Sunday it's New Orleans and Tampa Bay to start the season off.
Let's see what you guys think here. So I'm going to ask you some basic questions here. Do you think Tampa's offense this year will be better than last year's offense?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Brady and the gang, right?
Yes.
Last year, they were 3rd in scoring.
Well, Jameis threw it all over the field.
Yeah, but what the difference is, what the difference is, they're going to have a whole lot less turnovers. That puts your defense in bad spots.
So last year, the offense averaged 28.6 points a game. The defense averaged giving up 28.1 points a game. So 28-28.
Do they count a lot of those points that the defense gives up, though, pick sixes? Because
I'm not sure how that
Jameis
is in
threw a lot of pick sixes, sometimes 3.5.
I'm not sure exactly calculations on that, but either
But he
way,
got his eyes fixed.
Either way, the Bucks score 28, which is fourth best, and give up 28, which is fourth worst from last year. What was their record last year?
Well, they 7-9.
Yeah, they were 7-9.
So there
Actually,
was-
I've got the standings from last year pulled up.
So they were 7-9 with 30 picks last year, and had 28 points a game this year. The number one offense last year was the Ravens at 33. Is Tom minus the interceptions worth getting to 33 or 30? Is he going to get that far? Like I'm saying
You
is like, how
you
much
could
more-
argue this is the best offense he's had since Randy Moss.
Well, my question is, if you're already averaging 28 and the best is 33 in the NFL, how much more better can you actually get?
Yeah, but the difference is going to be
35.
because you're not throwing.
I know
because
that.
you're not throwing a
I'm saying,
pick
well, how many
every
more
game.
do you think they'll get?
I mean, I think Might can get 30, but where the difference is that defense won't be giving up anywhere
The
near
28.
28
Right.
because they're not throwing up 2 picks a game.
Right.
And that defense is going to be able to catch their breath a little bit more because they get the stop, they get the ball back, and Jameis will just throw a pick, maybe the second throw of that drive, and they'd be like, well, all right, put the oxygen mask down, boys. We got to go back out on the field.
Now, I don't know. Now, I'm not 100% sure what this means, but Tampa's run defense last year, number one in the NFL.
That usually bodes well for a team.
Well,
I'm trying to think about
It's
teams
like the
within
oth-
their division, though. Like Atlanta struggled to run the ball. Carolina, I mean, might have the best running back in the division, but he catches passes more than he runs the ball. And Alvin Kamara was hurt, so they were running Latavius Murray. So within their own division, I could understand them having probably the best run defense, but them having the first overall,
first overall in the NFL.
that's pretty impressive. But I will say this, though. They had last year's sack leader still, and they re-signed him, Shaq Barrett. He's still there. That's going to make, I mean, unless teams can really, and he's not a defensive end. I mean, outside linebacker, just getting there. I don't know, though, if he's still labeled an outside linebacker because he was fighting that. That was the problem he was having to sign his contract, is because obviously the difference between what an outside linebacker makes and what a defensive end makes is a pretty substantial gap. So
Yes.
I think he was trying to be labeled as an edge rusher because he wanted to get that extra money on that contract.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, to me, though, head and shoulders right now. I mean, until you take the crown away, how can I pick them? How can I not pick them? So the Chiefs. I just see the Chiefs being like, I like Lamar. Don't get me wrong. I think Lamar Jackson already early in his career can throw the ball better than Cam Newton could when he was in the league. And I know how crazy great Cam's rookie season was. I know how great it was. But Lamar, I think, is focused up a little bit more to trying to perfect him throwing the ball. But if you ask me, who do you think is going to win between a battle of the arms, Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson?
It's Mahomes.
It's Mahomes.
It's Mahomes.
It's Mahomes.
Yeah.
And to this day, it is still a pass-first offense or a pass-first league.
Yes.
So I will always go with the quarterback that's got the better arm. And how can you pick against probably the best arm in football right now?
And
That's
they-
just what's so tough. Andy Reid's still there too. Like you return 90% of your offense.
they're gonna-
Why would I not?
Right.
They're going to sling it.
I think
they will have to do some salary cap gymnastics at some point in the future, but not this year.
I was about to say.
Not this
I
year.
was about to say, you look at Kansas City Chiefs fans and say, all right, are you going to worry about us maybe in the next 6 years, maybe being like an 8-8 team, or would you like to win maybe 3 straight Super Bowls in a row?
You take
what you can do now.
Yes.
It's a relevancy thing now. If we can win now, go for it. That's why every team's they're like, well, if we can go all in right now, we got to do it. That's exactly what the Chiefs
Yes.
are doing. They're taking advantage of still a weak AFC. That's what it is. The AFC is still weak outside of Baltimore. I mean, Pittsburgh maybe. I don't know what Big Ben's going to do.
Right.
I don't know what Big Ben's going to do. He has not stayed healthy for maybe the last 5-6 years. I don't know what I'm getting out of Big Ben. And outside of them, Derwin James is down now, and there's a new quarterback in L.A., so I can't quite say anything about the Chargers.
Who is this? Tyrod Taylor? Who?
Yeah, Taylor's going to
He's been
start.
named the starter.
Yeah, eventually, he'll be taken out for the rookie.
Do you
They
not-
always do it.
Do you not think in the same situation what they're doing? Do you think the Bears are doing the same thing with Foles? Because if you start Foles now, you're saying we're done with Trubisky. Who wants?
Well,
him,
they've
blah,
already
blah.
declined his fifth-year option for Trubisky. So they're essentially saying you need to prove it to us right now.
But they've named him the
Because
starter.
that's it.
And what I'm saying is that by naming him the starter, that gives you a couple weeks. If you play bad, then you can put Foles in. If you put Foles in as a starter to start with,
It might be a locker room thing.
Now the locker room's going to be like,
I would say
really?
it might be a locker room thing where they're like, the locker room loves Trubisky. Everybody loves Trubisky. They don't just want to like ditch him as soon as they bring in Nick Foles. But it's also one of those things that people keep forgetting. Outside of Philadelphia, Nick Foles has not been good anywhere that he's been.
He had a run in Philadelphia.
He had a run in Philadelphia. When his first time was there with Chip Kelly, he found success. The next time that he goes back, he gets the run and wins the Super Bowl. But outside of Philadelphia, when he was with the Rams, and then when he went and had his little stint with the Jags, he's just not been good. I know the Jags thing kind of got messed up because he got hurt, but still, I mean, you can't. If you're the guy, like how they used to say about Romo, you shouldn't lose your position to injury. But he ended up losing it anyways because Gardner just outplayed him.
Right.
So here's our ins and outs. You guys kind of got yours organized over there?
Ish.
All right, I'll go through what we did to give you guys an idea. So across the board, we went for AFC division titles. This was voted on and how we got it into it. It was Bills, Ravens, Colts, and Chiefs. Wild card, Steelers, Titans, and Patriots. In the NFC, we had division champs, Eagles, Packers, Niners, Saints, with wild cards, Cowboys, Seahawks, and Bucks. Now, each of us had different ins and outs than that, of course, but that's how we, as a group, what we ended up with. So we had, again, Bills, Ravens, Colts, and Chiefs in the AFC. Wild cards, Steelers, Titans, and Patriots. And in the NFC, we had Eagles, Packers, 49ers, Saints, wild cards, Cowboys, Seahawks, and Bucks. Now, if you folks watching, you can see our ins and outs from Saturday. So I'm gonna let Andy and Chris kind of talk about what they would do with theirs if they agree with any of ours, they want to take any of ours out, how awful a job we did. Any news and notes on that, guy. So let's start with you guys in the AFC. How about that? So AFC division, let's do it this way. AFC East. Who y'all got?
Buffalo.
Andy?
Buffalo.
So y'all both going Buffalo. So this will make it a little easier. Let's see. There's our Saturday, folks. And we'll go down here to today. Chris and Andy. All right. So y'all got Buffalo. What about NFC North?
Baltimore. Wait, NFC or
AFC?
Oh, AFC. I have Baltimore, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Both of you agree on the Ravens?
Yes.
AFC South.
I'm actually going to go with Houston, and it's not that I think they're great. I think that division is very weak right now. I think y'all have the Colts.
Andy. I personally have Titans. The group went Colts.
Okay. I'm picking Houston, but
Texans would be one of my first out from the playoffs last year.
That would be your first out.
I've got Texans out.
Okay.
Same.
I could see them.
Same.
All right, so I'm
Andy,
going
have
against
as
the
your
grain
division
on this one. I'm saying Houston, but look, I don't think any of them teams are that good.
I think the Colts are really good.
So
I don't.
I got 10 wins for Titans, 9 for Colts, 8 for Texans. ESPN had 10 for Titans and 8 for Colts and Titans. I mean 9 for Texans, 8 for Colts and Titans. What was Colts' record there last year?
I was with Jacoby Brissett.
Was they 7-9? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were
7-9.
Yeah.
7-9.
So Phillip Rivers, I think, is better than Brissett. So I'm going to
Phillip
give him at
Rivers
least
also
8.
old.
They
Yeah,
got
I'm gonna
Jonathan
give
Taylor. They actually got an offensive line, arguably the best offensive line in football. Because let me tell you something, the Chargers didn't have one at all. Everybody was so injury ridden. You expect Phillip Rivers to be able to move around in the pocket? If he has a clean pocket, can he complete passes?
Yeah. He can still
That's the same thing about Tom Brady. If he's got a clean pocket, can he complete passes?
He impressed me to a point, and this is weird if you don't follow it, in the quarterback challenge last year. Phillip Rivers. They had a camera from behind, and when you see someone throw it from behind, you see a couple of little different things. You tell which guys have a good arm, which guys don't. Phillip Rivers, he's still got a good arm. Like, there's nothing wrong with that arm. And in fact, he throws it. It looks, you know how it looks crazy as hell on TV? From behind, you know what it looks like? He looks like he's throwing a dart. Like, honestly, it's just a flick. And from the side, it looks like all this weird stuff. But when you watch it from behind, and they're throwing at those moving targets, so you get to see the ball flight. His ball flight was wonderful. Like, if he has 25-year-old legs, I'm like, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Just watching how he throws it. He threw it way better than anybody else out there. I think Dak was out there. God almighty, he looked awful. I'm trying to remember who else. Lamar might have been out there. He did a little bit better, but Dak was just. You could tell the guys that didn't have a good arm. Breeze, he put it exactly where he wanted it to on everything. But Phillip Rivers, man, to me, he's almost like, I know you guys remember, he's almost like at this point in his career like Marino, where he's just sitting back there. If he's got time, he can throw it. But the NFL, a lot of times that don't happen.
It don't happen. Like,
most
okay,
quarterbacks, if
and
you
talk
got
about
time.
Marino. Marino's last year, he was not good.
Yeah. He was just
Now,
standing
before
back
his
there.
career, obviously, was great, but that last year, he was not good. That's the division I have the least amount of confidence in my pick. I threw out Houston, but
How many wins y'all got Jaguars getting? I wrote down 2.
None. And you know what? I feel so bad for Gardner Minshew because I think Gardner can. He could
talent.
be.
He's
He's got talent, and everybody's just going to overlook him. Sure, he's not the biggest guy in the league, but he's a gamer. He's going to go out
Didn't
there.
he
And
have the best rating last
he was
year?
the best rated rookie quarterback, and everybody just looked over
I'll
him.
say 3.
I got ESPN's got him 3. I got him down as 2.
But I feel so bad for Gardner Minshew because essentially, if I was a reporter and I was able to just get a one-on-one with him and just be like, you realize they're setting you up for failure, right? Like they are setting you up to look bad so that they look fine when they draft Trevor Lawrence.
So, Andy,
That's
who
exactly
you-
what
They're
they're doing.
tanking for Trevor.
Who-
That's
you have in
exactly
the
what
South?
it is.
Who's your champion in the South?
I think I'm going to go with the Colts also.
All right,
I said Texas a minute ago, but
we'll go.
Hunter's about to
All right.
convince me
Who'd
to go
you
with the
have?
Colts.
Texas.
I said to take. I'm
You got-
the one
you
going
got the
against
Texans in the playoffs.
grain.
He
I have
said
them as
no.
one of my teams out.
Do you have Colts in the playoffs?
No.
Okay, so y'all are not making this easy for me to
Well,
decide.
Put the Jaguars.
I didn't have time to study
Pick the
this. Kind of
Jaguars.
went.
Just put the
I've been
Jags.
studying it for 6 minutes here. Give
All
me.
right, all right.
Yeah, this one's going to be kind of a
So we'll
weird
go
division.
West.
It could be.
We'll go with
That's
all y'all
the
got
reason why it's
Raiders?
going to be so weird is because the Titans are still good. Like the Titans to me are still good.
All y'all got the Raiders in the West.
You mean the Chiefs?
No, yeah, the Raiders. Y'all got the Raiders. Is that what y'all said?
Yeah, Chiefs. There you go.
Everybody's got the Chiefs winning that division. That's
Not everybody.
Well,
John Elway don't.
Oh, who are the Broncos going to start? Flacco?
Drew Lock.
No, Drew Lock.
Flacco got cut. He's backing up
did.
somebody.
He's with the
in
Jets.
Yeah.
okay.
He's a backup to Darnold.
Oh, and I was going to say, you're talking about the in and out. I have the Patriots missing the playoffs.
Okay.
I can see the
too.
Patriots getting back in there.
I do too.
I got the Patriots at 12-4 with
Cam-
with
Cam-
Cam,
Oh,
okay, so
with
me,
Cam Newton.
All right, so me and Kevin are on polar opposites on the on
You
the
got
Patriots.
4 and 12.
Me too. I can see the Patriots getting
Here's why. Dolphins suck. Jets suck. If you split with the Bills, you're 5-1.
Yeah, but can you beat everybody else that you play though?
I said,
Split
wait a
with the Bills, you're
Okay.
5-1.
Yeah, but I said out of the playoffs. I didn't say winning 4 games. There's difference in winning 4 games out of the play. I'm just saying they're missing. The
I'm the
playoffs.
one that said you said polar opposite from
Well,
12 and 4. I was
okay,
like, so 4 and 12. 4 and 12.
Well,
then. Okay.
Maybe I should have been more clear.
I tell you what, let's rotate. We'll do this. We'll have fun with the Patriots real quick. We'll start with Chris, go to Andy. Chris, Andy, y'all just go back and forth, okay? This is the Patriots schedule. Okay?
Loss.
Shut up.
Oh, dang.
Home against the Dolphins.
win.
One of you. Who's going first?
Win.
Andy goes first, then Nelson. All right. Squeaky. At Seattle.
Loss.
Andy, home Raiders.
Win.
At Kansas City.
Loss.
Andy, home Broncos.
That's a win.
Chris, home 49ers.
Loss.
Andy, at Bills.
Loss.
Ooh, Bill Belichick's going to lose his mind when he loses at home to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Chris, at yeah. He just picked the 49ers
Yes.
to win at Belichick. I
Yes.
hear you. Okay. Okay. All right, Patriots at Jets.
All right, they can win that one.
All right, Andy, home against the Ravens.
Loss.
Lamar against Cam
That's probably a loss.
in November. At Texans.
Loss.
Andy, home against the Cardinals.
Win.
At Chargers.
Win.
Yeah, they're.
Andy, at Rams.
Loss.
At Dolphins.
Win.
Andy, home against the Bills.
Win.
Chris, home against the Jets.
Win.
9-7.
Guess I'm in.
According to you,
Well, 9-7's always that.
9-7 this year gets you
That
in
gets you in the AFC.
with that extra playoff spot.
nine
That
wins on my board.
That gets you in at the NFC. AFC.
9 wins on my board gets you in a 3-way tie.
Well, see, then you're gonna
Actually-
get weird. You're gonna get weird stuff on them tiebreakers.
Actually, my 9 wins on my board would still win the division because I got the Bills of 8 wins. So if you
Don't
want to put it that way.
disrespect them like that.
I'm not,
The people, if you've not realized, if I wasn't just a diehard Washington fan, I would have been a Bills fan.
Somebody
Because
like
I love Josh Allen.
All right.
I think he's so slept on.
he's
Pull for the
got a
Bills when they had Jim
man
Kelly.
crush on Josh Allen.
You're so dumb, dude. He's so. I think he's so underrated.
So at the end of the season, we will have to revisit this because you have the Patriots winning the division.
Right.
I have them out of the playoffs. So we both can't be right.
I haven't talked to a single person besides myself, which I talk to myself all the time, I guess, that has said that they're picking the Patriots. Everybody's picked the Bills.
I got the Patriots in the playoffs.
So I feel good about that pick.
I can't.
Andy's hedging. Andy's
Look,
saying
I
they're
got
not
them
winning the
playing.
division, but they're in the playoffs.
Everybody looks at this
they
and
was in a
says,
different
"Oh, well,
division-
it's Cam at quarterback and Bill Belichick." Let's not count the 7 to 8 other players that are starters that have opted out, and they just cut
100%
Mohamed
true.
Sanu.
100% true.
Like Dante Hightower, the nucleus of that defense is not playing.
Name me 5 Jets.
Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell.
You just roll Bill out, Mark
All right,
and
there
wins.
Does the coach count?
No.
Does the
you can't
coach
name the
count?
coaches. Name me 5 Dolphins.
Wait a minute.
Not quarterbacks.
Hold on.
Not quarterback. Devontae Parker.
Hold on a second. Andy, repeat what you just said.
You just roll Bill Belichick out, mark him down for 10 wins.
Not without Tom Brady as his quarterback.
Oh, I can name
He
you.
got 11.
I can name you 3.
What's his face?
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. Well, Sam
I
Castle.
can name.
Sam
I can
Castle.
name you 3
Sam.
Dolphins. I can name you
close.
3 Dolphins. It's not in counting
think it's
quarterbacks because if
spelled
it
the
did,
same.
I'd get you 5. It's Devontae Parker,
Okay.
Kyle Van Noy, and Byron Jones.
Okay. Andy, can you name me 5 Buffalo Bills?
Yes.
They got 5
Jim,
guys that used
not
to be,
Jim Kelly.
They used to be Panthers.
Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed.
Josh,
Benjamin's been cut.
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs.
So are y'all getting the
I
point
mean-
I'm making about why I'm still feeling
No,
the Patriots?
I can name that because Tre'Davious White is probably the second best corner in the league behind Stephon Diggs.
If the Patriots win the NFC West, I have them at 8 wins. Does that make you feel better about that?
The NFC West
Or the NFC South? I'd have them at 8 wins. But right there in the NFC East, they're good. If they split with the Bills, they're 5-1.
So
That means they just got to go 500.
there's no
Everything
guarantee.
else.
No. Think about it. There's no guarantee they sweep the Dolphins. The Dolphins have their number 1 game every year. 1 game every year. Then ask them last year. Ask about the Miami Miracle. See if Bill remembers that one. All right.
I will say this. Depending on what happens in the season, I can see Ryan Fitzpatrick beating Cam Newton.
Nothing surprises me.
Yeah. But I don't know if they'll ever get to play against each other. And that's in week 2 they play.
You're so dumb. You don't think we'll make it past week 1.
Neither one of them might not make it past week 1.
Bill might be done with Cam after game 1.
The second he does a first down dance when they're down 3 scores,
Hey,
that's the one he loses his mind on, I think, don't you?
he's letting him dance while everybody else is stretching at practice. So
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, so playoff. Give me
New
give me a
Bill.
guaranteed playoff team, Chris, in the AFC.
Oh, Kansas City.
A wild card team. Wild card.
Oh, wild card team.
You got Buffalo, Baltimore, Indy, and the Chiefs are your champs. Give me one wild card team.
Steelers.
Steelers. Andy,
Patriots.
give me one wild card team. Patriots. Okay. So y'all need one more. Who else y'all have? Y'all have anybody else in y'all's list together?
Well, I had the Titans as a wild card, not winning the division. But I think, did you have them win the division or did you have Indy?
I think the Colts win the South.
Basically,
Okay.
here's the teams you guys don't have, I would say, would be Browns,
No.
Titans,
When I said the Titans, I could say making the
but they're not
playoffs.
on our list right now. Is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
So you've right now these are the teams that are pretty decent that you guys don't have.
we're
on
just
the
filling
list.
that last wild card spot.
Yeah, we're filling the
okay,
last wild
okay.
card. So you got Browns, Titans, Texans, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers. I need one of those.
Titans.
Titans good for
Oh,
you?
yeah.
All right. So here is Andy and Chris's. Did they get rid of two teams from last year? I don't
Well,
want
I got rid of the Pats, but Andy still had the
Houston's out because they would have been
Yeah.
in, and then who was one?
Anybody else y'all missing from that list? No, y'all got to take a team off. I think you're gonna have to. No, Colts weren't in last year, right?
That's what I'm saying. Colts replaced the
Steelers.
Texans, and the Steelers weren't in last year, and they replaced.
You need one more though, because you got to take 2 out and put 3 in. So no to the Titans. I have banned them.
Well, then the Jags.
You can't do Texans either. So your only choice, guys. Now this is math. Is Broncos, Raiders, or Browns?
I take Cleveland amongst that sorry group.
I think I put Denver. I think I did put Denver.
All right, he put
Andy?
Denver.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Baker. Maybe he's got his head on
Head on right.
Yeah, they got a lot of weapons up there.
He's
I'll do
committed
Browns.
himself
Go
this
Browns?
offseason.
All
I
right.
hope he did.
The Chris and Andy AFC. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Buffalo, Baltimore, Indy, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, New England, and the Cleveland Browns. Now let's go to the NFC. Chris and Andy, NFC. All right. Who do y'all got as champion of the West?
Seattle.
Andy?
I think the 49ers got another run in them.
All right. Who do y'all got the champion of the East?
Eagles.
Philly.
Champion of the South?
Tampa.
I'm going to go Saints.
Champion of the North?
Minnesota.
Yep.
So y'all agree on Minnesota and Philadelphia. So Vikings and Eagles are in division champions. Now we've got to debate. We have to have a master debate here, guys.
Okay.
It is y'all got Eagles and Cowboys. No. You've got Saints and Bucks and 49ers, Seahawks. Which one are going to be the champs? Do y'all got anybody want to give in to the other one on any of those? You don't feel confident?
Well,
There's 6 teams right there.
Honestly, there's only 2 of those I think that's interchangeable. It'll be Saints and Bucks. I think you could go either way. One's getting in the wild card, one's getting in as the division winner.
Yeah.
It's just
sure. That's fine. We can flip them either
I'm about
way.
to say either one.
Yeah,
I think that's either one because
Yeah, that's
whichever
fine.
one isn't is making the wild card.
Yeah, that's fine. Because
I'm guessing you both agree on 40. Does either one of you think the 49ers or the Saints aren't getting in?
They're both
I think they're both in now.
Okay.
I think San Francisco's go to watch because historically the team losing the Super Bowl performs overall noticeably more poorly than next year. Wait, what you got? You got the Niners missing
No,
the playoffs.
they're not happening.
He
That's
just
not
nailed
happening.
it, Hunter.
That's not
Happens
happening.
all the time, don't it?
Okay.
Happens about
It-
every year almost.
Atlanta missed the playoffs the next year because the offensive coordinator was
I
gone.
don't
And
care what the
and
reason
where
is.
was he at?
I don't care what the reason
the
is.
49ers.
Something happens.
The Panthers both times after losing the
Yep.
Super Bowl missed the play.
Garoppolo's dick might fall off, Hunter. You see all the porn stars he's been having sex with?
Well, but here's the thing.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, all right?
I'm just saying he might not be in the game. Might be burning.
Don't hate the player.
I think they'll go from winning the division to making the playoffs.
I can see the Rams missing the playoffs.
Neither one of y'all picked them.
Oh, yeah, I do not have the Rams in the playoffs.
I do.
Right now we're deciding on
Okay.
champion 49ers and Seahawks. And I had them missing. I had 49ers missing the playoffs.
I have them in as a wild card.
Okay. But both of you got on both ends. So y'all are good on y'all 6 teams. Let me look at. Let me see at last year's schedule. It's a lot easier for me to just.
So I guess it really doesn't matter. You could literally just put Saints,
Give me last year's
Seahawks.
standings.
You could put it Vikings, Eagles,
That one.
Saints,
The one on
Seahawks
the
as your
bottom.
division winners because the other 2 are
Right.
getting in for wild card,
Right.
and then you just got to debate over the last one.
The last wild card.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so.
Well, no, Hunter. Because
Well,
they've made some serious mistakes here. All they did was pick the same 6 teams from last year.
I know Kevin's going to say we hadn't swapped in and out.
49ers.
I know.
I can see the
Seahawks,
Packers getting in and the Cowboys not being in.
Eagles.
Yeah, but the Packers made it last year, so you can't pick the Packers. This is where the
complicated.
conundrum happens,
Yep.
where we can't just pick who we think is going to make it.
All right. So based on your pick so far, right, you can't just pick. You guys have 5 of the 6 in. One of those 5 you picked has to come out, and the Packers are the team you have left out. So I'm going to go ahead and knock them off.
I can see the Eagles not getting in if Carson Wentz gets hurt, which is 50-50.
So no,
That's very suspect.
ESPN has the
suspect.
Packers at 7 and 9.
And I think ESPN's still smoking crack.
They still got Rodgers.
is sitting
Rodgers
there.
still slinging if they can win some games.
So we're going to take the Packers out. Now, which other team you want to take out? 49ers, Saints, Vikings, Seahawks, or Eagles?
None of them.
Well, somebody's got to come, boys.
I can see the Eagles missing the playoffs.
Andy sees Eagles, and you said 49ers maybe, but you
Well,
got the 49ers in.
I had the 49ers. I just think they're going to take a step back from
But y'all
last
both
year.
had the Eagles win the division.
We do.
So I'm going to...
But I could see Dallas, your Cowboys, getting in as a wild card.
Well, right. And
Nah,
they
I
might
know
have
that-
to once we take one of these teams out.
Well,
So who's coming out?
Well, I don't know. I know Hunter thinks the curse of Jerry Jones is eternal.
Look, man, even if they get in at the playoffs, the last time they were in the playoffs, Todd Gurley showed up and ran over
All
him
right,
for like
guys.
120 yards.
I'm
They
going to
have
make this easy for you.
They have enough talent to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to do anything
Oh,
once they get there.
now listen. In mine, I have them as a wild card,
Oh,
but
you
I don't.
got
I
them.
don't. I don't
Okay.
have them winning the division.
Okay.
So are you taking out 49ers, Seahawks, or Saints?
The only way the Saints are not making the playoffs if Drew Brees gets hurt again. Now,
I don't know, Jameis. He got his eyes fixed. That's
true.
He got LASIK.
I'm going to say it again.
It's not sunny in the dome. You don't got to squint.
He's not looking up at that scoreboard when he's only 20 yards away. Like,
Who you taking out, y'all?
What am I? Tell me.
Saints, Seahawks, or 49ers? Because if you take out the Vikings, you've already took out the Packers. That means your Bears will have to be the champs. Or if you take out
No,
the
we
Eagles,
ain't doing that.
If you got to take out the Eagles, you can replace them with the Cowboys. But you guys have both picked the Eagles to win the division.
Makes my head hurt.
Yeah. So you want to take out the 49ers, the Seahawks, or the Saints?
just pick one of those three and we can get on with this.
I know. Pick one.
I'll take out the Seahawks.
No Seahawks for Andy.
Oh, come now.
I've got them in the Super Bowl. I've got them in the Super Bowl.
I mean,
Look, you just asked me for a pick.
I would have taken Seattle
fine.
out too.
do what?
I would have taken
Hey.
Seattle out too.
I mean, one of them got.
Look, I love Russell,
Oh, yeah, Russell's
Wilson. But,
Russell Westbrook.
yeah, not Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson, but his help is getting thinner and thinner.
So you on leave 49ers or Seahawks?
Well, I like my Seattle.
I know.
Seahawks.
I had them in
You
the
going
Super Bowl.
49ers then? Out?
Or Saints. Does Drew Brees' team fall apart?
Drew Brees is in there.
Fine, we'll take San Francisco out, although
So no.
Don't worry, this is not going to affect your final picks. This is just to fit this.
A group.
Or
yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take
I
out
take these to the bank.
49ers are gone. That means the Seahawks are your champs. Saints or Bucks, they're interchangeable. 2, 3, 4. That means we got 2 more picks to guys.
Well, I said you Cowboys.
So you've got, here's your choices. Cowboys,
Yep.
Rams, Cardinals, Falcons, Bears.
Is this who we think can get in?
Yeah, you need two people to get in.
Give me at least Jesus.
So Lions,
Oh, I'm
Bears,
going line. Matt Stafford.
Lions, Bears,
Go Dogs.
Falcons, Panthers, Cowboys, Rams, Cardinals.
Well, I said the Cowboys.
I'm going line.
Does either one of you vehemently disagree with the other one? And I mean vehemently.
I'll let him have that one.
All right.
I've seen somebody else that had the Lions in there.
I'll let him have that. I won't, because I mean we're starting
That's
to really
beyond me.
Well,
but
we ain't picking the Panthers to make the playoffs.
Why not? Let me ask you something.
Did I do that?
Yeah, it's you over there.
Oh.
Somebody's over there playing it.
yeah,
me.
I mean,
We had some comments from Jake Lackey on
All right. So,
YouTube. That's why I was checking.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So as far as the Panthers go, looking at their, we go through their schedule just like we did the Patriots because
so wait, is this finished now? The NFC, that's it because the
that's
Saints
their
and
pick.
Bucks are interchangeable, so that's
Yeah,
everybody.
that's
All
their
right,
picks.
there we go.
Yeah, right.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Take those to the bank. Take something on this list to the bank because you're going to hit some of these if you want to flip flop some of them
The
around.
something
I think
we're taking to the bank is Kansas City. That's what we're taking to the bank.
that's not. I'm not missing that.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're taking that to the bank.
I'm not missing that. Now, Super Bowl wise, I mean, I was as confident as I am. I won't put money on it, but for them making the playoffs and probably getting the 1 seed, yeah, I'm not missing that. I'm not missing that.
All right. So remember, the Panthers last year was 31st in scoring and defense. And
They got an offensive-minded head coach,
their
so the defense ain't getting better.
30, 20.
They brought
20th.
in a
Their offense was 20th. They brought in an offensive coach from college.
and they brought in an offensive passing coordinator
To be the
from
offensive-
college to
to
be
be
the
the
offensive
offensive
coordinator.
coordinator.
Okay.
Because he was not the offensive coordinator at LSU. People forget that.
NFL scoring average is 24 points a game. Last year, Panthers scored 21 a game, gave up 29.
Yeah, that ain't good.
It's not.
That's a losing football.
That's
That's basic math.
That's not a good strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it pays off. But remember, they did draft 7 defenders, which Shannon thinks now they have a top 5 defense.
Yeah, right. The only defense that's top 5 after this draft. The only defense that's top 5 after this draft is Washington. That's it. That's the only one.
Well,
Nice try,
five teams have to be top 5.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't just have only teams.
No, it's Washington. No, I'm talking about the only one after this draft that made a draft pick that makes him a top 5 defense is Washington. I'm sorry, Shannon, but Carolina is not there.
Panthers were dead next to last.
You're
in
not
points.
there.
Only the Miami Dolphins gave up more points than them last year. However, is their quarterback situation better than last year? Is their wide receiver situation better than last year?
Yes,
So offensively,
I agree to both
you may
of
be
those.
a little bit better. Defensively, you may be a little bit better.
Maybe.
I'm thinking they're going to come closer to that. They're scoring 21, giving up 28. I think they're going to bring both numbers a little bit closer to 24, 25. That
23-24, so
Right,
they
yeah.
still lose.
Well, maybe.
Well, here's the problem with that analysis is that last year they won 5 games. It wouldn't shock me if they won less than 5 this year.
All right, let's do it. I've got them down for 5. ESPN has 3. All right. We'll go
I
back.
think I had them at 3 or 4 when I first
we're
looked
gonna
at their
use-
schedule.
We'll go all 4 of us for this one. How about that? So
All right.
just go start with Chris. Home Raiders to open the season. Vegas comes to Charlotte.
I hate that they didn't just do
That-
a game week 1 from Vegas.
No shit, right? Now, who
I-
messed that?
I
Don't
messed
go
that up.
Charlotte.
Actually, no, I'm saying loss.
So lost.
Well, they're not. That Vegas Stadium's not even ready yet.
Oh,
That's
yes,
right.
it
They did
is.
get ready.
The Death Star is ready.
But their
Okay.
governor won't let them.
Won't let them play. 'Cause we were out there last
A good
November and
November
it
show
was
up
not
like
did not
ours
look
won't.
close to being ready.
Oh, it's ready now, I think.
I think
All right,
they
Andy,
built
game
that
2
nobody can go in. Pfft, what a waste.
at Tampa.
Hell,
Game 3 at Chargers in their new digs. Hunter,
I'm going to give Carolina the win.
a road win.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, but
Home
Derwin
against
James being down hurts the Chargers on defense.
Game 4 is home against the Cardinals. I give them a W. Game 5, Chris at Atlanta.
L.
Andy, home Bears.
Who's quarterback?
win,
Hunter
whipping Trubisky.
at Nolans.
That's a law. Why don't if it's Tampa Bay or New Orleans, don't ask. Just put the L.
All right, they get the Falcons at home. They lost to the Falcons at home last year, so I'm going to give them another L for that one. All right, Chris, this is the tough one. At Kansas City.
Can I do a double L? Can you get 2 losses at once? That's a L.
Andy, home against Terrific Tom.
That's an L.
We had to think about that.
Hunter,
Yeah.
hosting at home against Andy's playoff Detroit Lions. This is what we call a shit show. This is the
Might
this
be
is the game before Thanksgiving.
Might be a dumpster fire. Oh wait, that's the game. Oh, the week before.
It's the game before. It's 3 days before Thanksgiving.
right.
So
Damn,
this
Detroit's gonna play 3 days later. Or is
is
Detroit
Sunday.
not playing on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that you play Sunday and then you play on Thanksgiving and then you got that Sunday off and you play the next one.
God, some of them Thursday games are terrible.
Yeah.
Well, that Thursday game will be
Hunter,
terrible.
win loss. Home against Detroit.
I'll give him a win.
All right.
I don't want to though, because I think Matt Stafford could win that. But
At Minnesota, loss.
yes,
All right, Squeaks home against the Denver Broncos.
L.
yeah, I think that.
Andy at Green Bay Packers.
That's an L. Damn it.
All right, here we go. Week 16, the Ron Rivera revenge game. Panthers.
Damn, this was set up perfectly, wasn't
Yeah, it was.
it?
Panthers
It was.
in Washington Who wins?
That's an L.
I knew you was gonna
They
say
come
that.
to Washington and lose because one of two things is going to be happening. Either Dwayne is humming at the time and he's going to continue to be the starter, or we just got Kyle Allen in there, and our defense will stop anybody.
All right, I got home. I got them the next game home against the Saints with a loss. So we grand totaled the Panthers at 4 wins, guys. So,
Well, someone said 5.
I personally had five.
ESPN has 3.
3, 5, 4, whatever.
We're in the ballpark.
I personally had 5. ESPN had 3, and the 4 of
Now,
us together.
unless
got 4.
something magical just comes together, high side 7. They could beat the Broncos. They could beat another team.
The
that
good
we
news
just,
is
they
the home
could
games
beat
are winnable.
Washington.
Yeah.
almost all their
maybe.
home games. Almost none of the home games you're like, that's a definite blowout. I would
Except
say.
for Tampa Bay and New Orleans.
home
and
Raiders,
Atlanta.
home Cardinals, home Bears, Falcons, Bucks, Broncos, and Saints. You're right. Their division's tough.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they could beat Denver at home. Maybe. That's always one of those tough west to east things.
All right, there's your Carolina
It
Panthers.
depends on what time. If it's a 1 o'clock game, then maybe. And now the late, because if a West Coast team comes to the East Coast and has to play a 1 o'clock game, that's usually
They
not
lose
good.
every
They
time.
usually lose. And
No
they're
one
not
knows,
just
but-
that too. It's like, is Drew Lock going to be in rhythm by this time, or is he going to be like, okay, maybe we need to start looking for another quarterback? Because
Right.
it's like
Then if I wish
it's one of
NFL
those
wouldn't even
things
schedule
where I
those
was like
games.
the same thing where I was like, Lamar versus Patrick it would come down to be Drew Lock versus Teddy Bridgewater. And it's like, well, Teddy Bridgewater is proven commodity at the quarterback position. Drew Lock, I still got questions about. So if he's struggling right there, I'll take Teddy.
I would much rather see those West Coast teams play 4 o'clock game.
Well, yeah, I don't think
It's
a
not
West
fa- I don't
Coast
think it's
team coming to
fair.
the East Coast should play a 1 o'clock
It's not
game.
fair.
I
They're basically
don't
playing
think-
10 a.m. their time that they're
Mm-hmm.
not.
I agree.
that they're
You
used
play
to.
either 4 o'clock or the night game.
Yeah. I
And
think,
then I think it's a travesty that we play in England. I don't want to get up at like 8 a.m. to watch a football game. God.
Have breakfast with your.
why would you
football
not
game.
want to watch up that early? What else are you doing that early?
Sleeping. It is a Sunday.
I like the early. I like the London games because there is a game early. You don't have to wait till 1 o'clock. Got to go to church. Got to eat some dinner lunch. Then the football game will come on. Whatever.
Nah.
Anyway, how about
Well, wait, did they say there are none? There are no international games
Not
this year?
this year.
None
Not
in
this year.
Mexico? Okay.
they've shut them down for this year?
Imagine.
What do you guys think about Hunter's Washington Football Club cutting Adrian Peterson?
He's with the Lions.
But where he ended
I
up
forgot.
with, he ended up in Detroit only 1,000 yards behind Barry Sanders. Is this the Lions giving another FU to Barry? Like, why would you sign him? They're not winning the Super Bowl. What are they doing with him?
I think he's the backup, though, to DeAndre Swift.
It don't
Yeah,
matter.
he's
It don't
not
matter.
getting 1,000 yards this year.
He might
What did he
get,
get last
He got
600.
1,000 last year,
Yeah.
Well,
didn't he?
I think he was just under. I
Close.
think he was 900.
900,
But the year
yeah.
before, he was a 1,000-yard rusher for us.
He's still a.
I don't trust. No, Adrian Peterson's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't trust the old running backs. And I know Frank Gore is kind of an odd exception. But
Well, Adrian Peterson is the exception only because he is still a freak athlete for his age.
He had 898.
He
last
is
year.
still a
That's
freak
pretty good.
athlete, and not just that, but he works great with a lot of carries. So he'll always have a lot of opportunities to get 80 to 90 yards a game. I'm not saying he's rushing for 100, 120, but you can sit here and tell me you don't think like a 35-year-old Adrian Peterson can get an 80-yard game?
He still busts a long
All he
run
has,
every
I was
now
gonna say, all he
and
has to do
then.
is bust maybe 3 20-yard rushes, and he's almost there.
He averaged 4.3 yards a carry last year.
That's not bad.
I don't know why we cut him, to be honest,
probably-
but
His third year in the league was 4.4
Pretty good for an old man.
when he was 28. With the year, the year
they
he had
just
2,000
don't.
yards,
No
was
one
6
wants.
yards a carry.
No one wants to just use him like that though, because he's not a great pass catcher, and that's what every running back has to be now. Is you have to be able to do the Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara catch out of the
He had some
backfield.
he had some fumble issues.
He's had
too.
fumble issues his whole career, but I mean, I think it's just because he runs so hard.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. He doesn't protect it, and he just is running so hard.
right.
Seriously, I think Adrian Peterson, if not, it will definitely couldn't be this year. I think because I think he's got a little bit more miles on him. He probably won't be with Detroit this year, but whoever has him next year, because it's only a 1-year contract this year, he could catch Barry and break
he
Barry.
could have a couple of 500 to 600 yards this year and next year. That's possible. I'm just saying I don't think he's getting 1,000 in 1
Oh
year.
no, not this year. No. And it's only because we've
Detroit
agreed,
doesn't
he's
run
going to be the
ball much either.
backup.
They throw 65% of the time.
Yeah, they throw it a lot. Hasn't been too successful.
That's why they drafted
Matt Stafford's
DeAndre
never
Swift.
won a playoff game.
That's why they drafted
one
DeAndre
pick.
Swift.
What was it, 10, 11 years ago?
It was a while back, yeah.
What was it,
Matt
2008?
Stafford, well, Matt Stafford hadn't, and neither has former Cincinnati quarterback
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, he ain't never won one either.
I think that was a Cincinnati curse. I'm dead serious. I think he could win one with this Cowboys roster.
If he was the Cowboys starting quarterback all year, would they not be just about the
They'd
same?
be about the same as Dak.
I think so. I like Andy Dalton. I think he.
5 winning seasons, 3 losing seasons.
Yeah,
I always liked Dalton.
that's very true.
It all comes down to, and think about it, the last 3 years he's been there, A.J. Green has not played a full season because he can never get over this turf toe.
Hey, Tim Tebow has more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson and Matt Stafford combined.
And Matt Stafford, if I'm not mistaken, he's creeping up, if not already,
True or false, Chris?
all-time passing leader for Detroit.
It's technically true, Kevin.
What was funny? I was watching someone yesterday that was talking.
Well, so
about,
does Ryan Tannehill. He's got almost as many as Cam right now.
I know, it's crazy.
And he did that in one playoff
He did
run.
one playoff run. Tannehill won about as many as a lot of guys in the league have already. What was I about to go with that? I did have an important statement or question.
I don't
but
think
guess,
so. You
I guess
forgot
it's
it.
not that important. Or,
Yeah. You wouldn't have forgot it if it was
it's
important.
definitely not life changing. I guess.
No,
Is it?
definitely not.
All right. Any other news and notes on the NFL, guys?
I'm so happy it's here, dude. I'm so happy it's here. Thursday cannot come fast enough. I hate to tell you, I think it's going to be a blowout, but I can't wait for it.
I'm kind of glad they skipped the preseason mess.
I have mixed feelings about it.
It
And
snuck up on us.
It's not that I want them to play all 4. I think maybe 1 or 2 would be fine for a preseason game. And it's only because we're already starting to see it as it comes down closer to the game time. We're getting ready to ask these guys who really couldn't have any offseason to prepare themselves. Then they come into training camp and they have to kind of go, okay, 0 to 50, 0 to 60. And now they're starting to ramp up now as we get further along into training camp. All right, we need you to start going 0 to 70, 75, 0 to 80. We're getting ready to ask them to go 0 to 100 with no practice at all. At 100, I think we're going to see some injuries.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but I do think, and they might be key injuries, that where these picks are just going to go out the door. Because it
always happens.
It always happens. There's always one guy, and you hate to see it. So I think that's what's going to be the problem. I know a lot of people don't like the preseason because of injuries. They say, oh, well, that's an unnecessary moment for someone to get injured. I'm thinking, well,
I guess we'll find
at
out.
least we're getting ready to find out.
We'll find
I
out.
think
We'll find
I
out.
think either way we're getting ready to run into a buttload of injuries week 1 and 2 because I think it's just different because this year they didn't really have any opportunity to just go and do like their usual off-season workouts. If they have their break, they go on their vacation and then they're like, all right, this week and this month I'm getting ready to start warming up, getting my workouts back in before I go to report to training camp. This year training camp was delayed and everything. So I don't know. I think it's just going to be something to watch for. I don't wish anybody to get injured. I think it's something that's going to play a big factor.
All right, so here's a little funny little story. This is 15 NFL coronavirus protocols that you may not know is going on. Number 1, electronic whistles. They're push button whistles so they're not spitting into their whistles.
That's their whistle. What do they do? Share whistles after games? Hey, buddy, dude.
And when you
here,
blow it, the
mine
spittle
sounded
still
all-
comes out.
Yours sounded so much better than mine. You want to trade whistles after the game? So
The
stupid.
electronic version was built by Fox 40 Whistles for train conductors and lifeguards. Works on a battery. Cheerleaders
What
and
happens when the
mascots.
battery goes out? What if they
Not
forget?
allowed.
Done.
What?
No cheerleaders and no mascots.
The Dallas Cowgirls are not going to be out there. Well, the team's going to be out there. the
This
Dallas
isn't.
Cowgirls.
This is not NFL football if there's no Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
It really isn't.
Cancel the season.
Did they not have the
Right
tryouts on television?
now?
Could I not tune
sure
in
they
and
did.
watch Making the Dallas Cowgirls?
Can't they do them virtual?
What
They
on the
should be
screen
able
like on the
to.
screen like
Yeah.
they do?
I mean, the NBA's got all those
They could
television
easily
screens.
They could easily find something to do with the cheerleaders.
Those
I'm
are-
telling you that right now.
Yeah.
I like that idea that the
Put 'em
NBA
in
did,
that
but I'm
third-
also kind of like I'm just waiting for something to go terribly wrong
Oh, yeah.
behind
Why
there.
don't they
Yeah,
put
that
them in
was
the? Why don't they put them in the upper deck? Let them dance in the upper deck, and then each one gets a section.
What did you just? No, never mind. I'll bring it up if we go to
How's the
baseball.
mascot not allowed? He wears a head. He wears a freaking head.
They let mascots
Who's
at
not-
MLB games.
Shh.
I
Who's
think
not allowed?
They let mascots
Yeah.
at MLB games.
Fred Bird's been sitting in Big Mac land.
Blooper for Atlanta's been
ironing
everywhere.
clothes. Ironing clothes in Big Mac land.
This
All
is
right.
this is all just crazy to me.
No handshakes, no jersey swaps.
That they can see after the game. We'll see how that goes. when everybody's in the locker room.
Smaller. I did not know this would be. I could say this sentence. Coin toss entourages.
Fair enough. You know?
Okay.
What is a coin? Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Sideline reporters will need binoculars because they will not be able to move.
Huh?
Sideline reporters will be positioned. Michelle Tafoya, for Sunday Night Football reporter for NBC, said she will be positioned in the front row of the stands. An area production crews will call the moat. Tafoya will conduct interviews by phone or remote cameras, and she said, "I'm bringing binoculars to the game for the first time in my career. I want to be able to see
What,
things."
to just go and have a cell phone over there on the sideline with the teams? Be like, "Hey, Michelle, she wants to talk to you."
Yeah, she's gonna sit in the stadium, and I guess
A walkie-talkie?
somebody down low that's spreading the corona will be handing them to the players.
Listen, nah, that's what's so crazy to me though, because I thought you were gonna say, all right, they're gonna be able to be at least on the field, along the sideline, but stay in one spot. I'm like, I'd bring a lawn chair. I'll just sit right there. And be
Yeah,
like,
the NFL would definitely not approve that.
be like, if I can't move,
Real and fake crowd noise. Only 5 of the 32 teams are allowing fans for the first game. Even then, the capacities will be limited. So the NFL hired local audio operators to run soundboard that can transition from 5 levels of fan intensity, depending on the game situation.
Atlanta Falcons been doing that for years.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't understand. I don't like all the fake stuff. I don't like the fake fans, the fake sound. Let's just play. I know it's not real.
Do you like the monitors in the stands for the NBA playoff game?
That's neat.
Oh, okay, so that's okay.
It doesn't really hurt my feelings or
I think
bother
it's a
me as
money maker
much.
for them.
But like,
You pay for it. and you
like
get
the
your face.
pumping in the fan noise. I know it's fake. Like, and how do you know it's not? It's fair to your team and not the other.
What if they
team?
just pump it through the TV and not at the stadium?
No,
They do that.
That's what the
they do.
NBA's doing.
Yeah.
NBA's doing that. The
noise is
crowd
not
noise
yeah.
that you hear when you watch the NBA television is just coming through the network. The NBA players do not hear the crowd noise.
Okay.
They just hear. They just
I'll
hear
be
the.
honest,
They just.
I did not know that.
They just hear the DJ that there's
I
playing
don't like
in the
anything that's
background.
fake. I just
Oh,
don't.
you don't like any
I don't
of
think
it.
I do. I don't. I get the NBA what the NBA did with the videos is cool. I think because what it does, it gives you a visual, I guess, of people actually still watching it, and I think the players. I think it helps the players maybe
Because they're
more.
like, you know what?
There's
We
actually
actually give
people
her.
here.
There's actually a reason for us
and we're
to
not
play.
in an empty stadium,
Yeah.
maybe, but for fans, like
Like there's actually people watching.
I don't know.
And they're
Like
not
the
just like,
baseball, the
forget
cardboard cutouts. It's
I
cute.
like 'em.
It's cute how they're
I
doing.
like 'em.
If
I
your
want them to do
baseball
an
hits-
all
If your baseball
pants.
hits your cardboard, you get to keep the baseball.
Spread more
cute.
That's a
Corona.
good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that.
But
Didn't they have a weekend at Bernie's cut out on
Yeah,
one?
they've had a lot of
I just want them to do a
I don't get it.
weekend where it's nothing but pets, dogs, and cats.
some
That's
people
everywhere.
put their dogs instead
That'd
of
be
themselves
wonderful.
as the
Be
cutout.
wonderful.
Did I show you the guy that got hit in the head?
Yeah.
Of the teddy bear?
Mm-hmm.
We do the headshot on the teddy bear. Have you seen the headshot? That was a pretty good one. Teddy bear took a headshot the other night at one of the ball games, and they had a good jokes about it. I'll show that to you later. All right, no bottle sharing. Hydration will be more organized in 2020. Instead of grabbing the nearest cup of Gatorade, you'll be assigned a designated bottle.
All right.
So what? The players walk in with their own bottle. Be like, let me just fill it up. That's what I would do there. I would not do like the NFL's gonna have like special NFL bottles that are just sitting there and their names written on it. It's like, hey, bring a water bottle from home. Fill it up if you want. Like, I think that would be just so much easier than just being like the NFL's going to designate you a water
No,
bottle.
they've got 50 Gatorade bottles is what they're going to do. Or
Ah,
45
that's right. I forgot.
Gatorade.
Gatorade is a major sponsor,
Yeah,
so
they're
we
gonna
need to
have
make
those
sure
little-
they're Gatorade
They're going to have
bottles.
45 of those Gatorade bottles.
I have to get the sponsor in.
Yes.
As well as Pepsi. There might be Pepsi bottles.
There will be no buffets at the team facilities.
Darn. They
If they're
got to
gonna-
eat at home.
If they're going to eat a post-game meal, it must be individually packaged with disposable utensils. Third-party meal delivery is permitted as long as this delivery is contactless.
With disposable utensils, remind me, do we not wash silverware once we're done with it? Why couldn't we just use regular silverware? Are they not going to wash it when it's done? That's a good question. I've got great questions for this.
I don't know.
And it's mostly because I think a lot of it is horseshit. And I just want to look right through it. Seriously, like, if you want to have a post-game meal, it must be with disposable utensils. Look, I get that. All right, let's just use more plastic waste and pollute the earth a little bit more, but whatever. But You act like when we use metal utensils, we don't wash them. He's just gonna grab the same one next time. It's got Corona all over it. We didn't. Did you put it in the washing machine? No, not at all. I thought you were gonna use it again. Yeah.
Y'all gonna like this one.
Okay.
Players will not be allowed to take elevators.
Can't be 6 feet in an elevator.
The teams will be requesting the hotels put them in the bottom 3 to 4 floors, so they do not have to crowd in elevators. And if they are on the not on the bottom floor, no one there, they have to take the
Can
stairs.
I make that request when I go to hotels? I need to be on the bottom.
I honestly didn't have no elevator use on my NFL bingo coronavirus card. Did y'all?
No.
No.
I didn't
use.
have that. They would have to use just disposable utensils.
It's interesting.
A lot of this just seems like horse shit that they were like, look, I need you to come up with a list and just whatever you think works, roll with it.
All high touch places should be washed 3 times a day. That includes tables, desks, countertops, doors and drawer handles, cabinet handles, light switches, phones, television remote controls, handrails, toilets, sink handles, touch screens, and elevator buttons. Man, those guys who didn't wash their hands after peeing is going to have some trouble with some of this stuff.
It's going to be tough.
Those shakers and levers are going to have some problems with some of this stuff. What do y'all think?
Yeah, they're going to be in for a rude awakening.
What about the quarterback quarantine?
This is one I could actually care about if it's actually makes sense.
Some coaches have considered isolating one quarterback from the rest of the team.
Okay, no, this is bullshit.
The Eagles have signed Josh McCown to their
I
practice
saw
squad.
this.
Is that the one where he's just like sitting at home?
Hey, he's in Texas.
This is what I'm talking
He's
about.
in Texas just waiting.
Quarantined third-string quarterbacks will be basically live alone away from the team as insurance policies in case one of the other quarterbacks.
Alex Smith made our
Catches.
53-man roster. We'll just leave him at home.
He did.
So is he
Sign
going
me
to
up
be
for
the
that
third
program.
string emergency?
That's it.
Okay.
Right now, he is listed as the third string and emergency quarterback. They don't know if they're going to keep him or not still.
But if it
he
goes
may
along with this, I mean, technically he could just stay at home. Quarantine quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Now,
stupid.
okay, so you got Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Kyle Allen.
Okay, that's right, Allen. Yeah. All right, okay.
Y'all are going to like this one. Social distance showers. Do not stand. Fair enough. Good rule.
Hey, you know what? Fair enough.
I think a lot of guys that are not
At
wanting to deal
least-
with hazing are
at
like,
least-
yes.
At least
Yes!
stand 6 feet apart from each other while showering together.
The rookies are probably like, oh, thank God.
Great year to be a rookie, boy.
Thank God. But then when they, the next rookie class comes in, this is all over. It's
yeah.
damn, sucks for y'all. I didn't have to
We
go
got to
through
haze the
that.
2-year guys now. Clubs may consider shutting off some shower heads to ensure physical distance is maintained.
What is this,
Saunas
prison?
and steam rooms.
Dude, like the way they're making this sound, it's like, what is this, prison?
Saunas and steam rooms are not allowed.
Like,
They pose additional risk according to the protocol.
I
they
just wait till I
seeing-
got back to the hotel.
Wait a minute, what?
Wait till
well,
you
you
get back to the
got a
hotel.
post-game press conference. They don't really want you standing there smelling like ass.
I'll wipe off and towel off and walk in there.
Another thing, Andy, is how many clothes did you bring to the stadium? So did you walk in a suit? If you're going to put that suit back on,
No,
you don't want to
walk
get on it
walk
muddy and
out
sweaty.
My stretchy pants.
Right. They should, honestly.
Whatever Cam dropped off for me, I'll leave in
I
that.
agree with you, Andy. It would be smart if the teams just provided them the sweats to just, after the game, like you said, if you are going to go home and go to the hotel and shower, to just put your sweats on and do whatever you do. You're not meeting with the porters anyway.
Why don't we just skip the post game interviews this year?
I don't know. I like seeing Cam pout. I just didn't. I wasn't ready
Just
for
the way that they've worded all this stuff, it's like they're catching something on camera, or people just walking in on something that's just not been announced
How are they
in
gonna-
these locker room
How are they
showers.
going to monitor the showers?
They're going to have a one guy. That ball boy is going to be very upset because he has to just stand there.
Well, who's the
and
guy
just-
that about made the Cowboys? The Michael Sam. Wasn't that his name? He can be the league monitor.
Okay, no.
How else do you monitor the showers? It's like, hey guys, your showers are too close. There's too many naked guys. Those naked guys are 4 feet
Going
apart.
back to the hotel room.
All right.
Yeah, you got. Whoa. What
Sweaty
are you doing
interview.
over there?
Doing a sweaty interview.
You cannot share that scrubby.
Gatherings are limited to 15 people. 2 charter planes per team encouraged. and with private planes on standby. So there's just some NFL rules to get ready by.
I just don't
or ready for
understand
this
where
week.
the NFL rule wouldn't just be like, if you feel sick, stay away from everybody and just go along with everything else.
At this point, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys? Y'all think it should be kind of treated like mono type thing, where instead of
Like if
shutting
you
down a
got
whole
it, just
team,
like isolate yourself.
Yeah, you go away for 2 weeks. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Like instead of shutting down a whole team or a whole
Yeah,
league.
if you can isolate, test everybody else comes back clean. Just
Exactly.
send that
What
person away. and
77 NFL players just tested positive, and then they retested them, and every one of them testing that was false
There's
positive.
negatives. Well, false
77
positives, yeah.
for 77. They were 100% false
just a
positive.
lab error somewhere.
Just
Yeah, that New
it can be
Jersey lab
corrected.
is now underneath investigation.
It can be corrected.
It is.
We don't use them anymore.
don't
Don't use them anymore.
All right.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, look,
It happens.
all these guidelines, cool. They're fine and dandy for right now, but 2 jet planes, okay. I don't like you guys just can't just fit on one. I
No.
don't understand. To me, that I just don't quite understand some of that stuff. It's like, okay, you're gonna pay double the money to burn the jet, like whatever.
This has nothing to do with sports. I just want to read it out loud because it's funny. Due to social distancing, this is what we were talking about.
Okay.
Your milkshakes can only bring 7 boys to the yard.
Dang it.
8 max.
8 max.
You know who tweeted that? The guy who shot Bin Laden in the face.
Ryan
Oh.
O'Neal.
I think that's his name. Robert O'Neal.
Is
Yeah.
that the one that got kicked off the flight?
Yeah,
or
same guy.
Something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right, let's go to basketball, folks. We'll finish up with some playoff action. I'm going to give you guys a couple little fun notes before we get into each team. Teams that make at least 22 three-pointers in a non-overtime game are all-time 57-4. Pretty good. So you can make 22 three-pointers, non-overtime, 57-4. 2 of those losses happened this postseason, and they were the Rockets.
That's because they're chucking them up every
Yeah,
game.
running gun.
Fun fact for you, though, about the Rockets, if you did not know, they were the best defensive team in the bubble. What?
I did see some
That's interesting.
notes on that.
because
as well.
D'Antoni is just Antony. Ain't no D about his game, right? So, dang. Best defensive team. I know they just got beat last night, but overall in the bubble, they've been the best defensive team.
Andy LeBron took 80 shots in the first round. How many were from the mid-range?
6.
Chris, you got a guess?
10.
0.
Oh, none.
Mid-range
take
game
it.
is
Threes or
so
layups?
dead.
Didn't take a single.
Well, have you seen the heat charts of the NBA now? It's everything's around a basket or all around 3-point. There's no.
Isn't it funny
There's
how
no-
they play basketball like we used to play pickup?
What?
Like, we have one big guy and everybody else firing threes.
We were ahead of the game.
Especially when they're counting ones and twos. Like, there's no point
Yeah.
in taking.
Yeah.
No.
Like you should, if it's 50%. I mean, twice as much as
Take-
opposed to 3 to 2.
Yeah, take the 3.
Oh God, yeah. So when we played intramural app, the girls, like the guys, didn't even shoot 2s because it wasn't even worth it. Because if Sally shoots a layup, she gets 3 points, and if we shoot a layup, we get 2 points. So the girls in intramural basketball got 1 extra point for every shot. Chris,
Okay, so they would shoot the layups and the guys would shoot the 3s.
right? We had 2s
okay.
and 3s. They
Okay.
had 3s and 4-pointers, and their free throws counted 2. So whoever's on Sally, we threw it to her, and if she got fouled, she went to the line. She got 4 points on a free throw.
Okay, all right.
She could shoot a 3, a layup, get fouled, and miss it. But shoot 2 free throws and get 4 points instead of hitting the layup for 3.
I just get fouled every time.
So,
All right, now
You doubling
that's
your
a
money.
little strange.
right. So
You're
every
doubling your
time
money.
a guy would get a rebound, if we had to put back, we didn't put them back.
Throw it to Sat.
We would kick it back out to a 3. We would either give it to a girl inside the 3-point line,
Okay.
or we would kick it to a guy. That guys were not allowed to do anything but shoot 3s. It was me, Patrick, Summy, and Dustin Day, and that's all we did was just shoot 3s. We had
Okay.
no big man, no nothing. It was just raining 3s. We beat 101 team, Nandy, 120 to 40 something.
Oh, God.
Listen, it's so crazy that the mid-range game is
It was
that dead because it is wide open. The one person, well, there are 2 people off the top of my head I know that still utilize it to this day, and they're
DeMar
still
DeRozan.
good at it. DeMar Rose is really good at it, so that's a third. I didn't think of him, but somebody else pointed him out to me. Kawhi Leonard is still very good at the mid-range
Yeah,
game.
he
He catches
can
it right there at the corner of the free throw line, and it may be top of the free throw line, and he's
yeah.
cash. The other person, it's because he's made a living off of it his whole life, is Carmelo. Other than that, I don't see nobody else hitting the mid-range game.
Not many.
Here's
Yeah,
some.
not many.
This is bad shooting nights, okay? Number of playoff games shooting under 30% from the field. Now, this is not an all-time list. This has just got some big-time names.
Number 1, Russell Westbrook.
He's third.
I was close. I knew I'd be close.
Him and Kobe got 16 games in the playoffs under 30%. Paul George has 19. He's second. And the number 1 shooter under 30% of the field. Can anybody guess?
I would just guess LeBron James because he's played in so many games.
LeBron's only got 9.
Okay.
James Harden.
James Harden, 20. 20 games under
That
30%.
too, because that's the one thing
from
they
the
always
field.
complain about is he chokes playoff time. Like
Well,
he
that's
usually
why I
doesn't
guess
show
it. That's
up.
why I
He
guess
choked
it.
in the game. They were lucky to beat that first round.
I'm going to let y'all guess.
Oh, the Thunder.
I'm
He
gonna-
choked,
yes,
he
they-
choked Game 7, but they
Yes,
still
they
won.
were-
I'm going to give y'all
They-
some names on the board, and then I'm going to let y'all guess some of them, okay? Your top 4, Harden, George, Westbrook, and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 is Magic Johnson. 6, Jerry West with 13. 7, Damian Lillard at 10. And like I said, this is all time. There's way more people. These are just big names. LeBron had 9. Kevin Durant, 8. What do you think how many Steph Curry and Jordan had after reading those?
3.
Which one had 3?
Jordan.
Neither one of them. Steph Curry, 7 under 30%. Kawhi, 6 under 30%. And Michael Jordan had 4 games in his career in the
I was
playoffs under 30%.
I was close.
from the
And it's
field.
just because if you think about his shot selection, the 3-point line still wasn't as prevalent as it is today. So he was still getting to the lane, getting high percentage shots, even though he was getting the shit beat out of him. He still was completing it.
He used and ones as his 3-pointers, is the best way I can kind of describe it.
Right.
Because the hang time, he would take that bang.
The
And
one
Andy,
I
like,
was,
you know, that's where you jump with somebody and you hit the ground. This son of a bitch still is hanging.
I'm not
there.
gonna lie, though.
What's he
I will
doing?
sit here and say only 7 for Steph Curry. That surprises me because of his volume of shots and
from
where
three.
he shoots them from.
Right.
All right, so
That
let's,
just shows you how deadly accurate he is. Good God.
let's go through the series now. Hunter, I'm gonna have to go Saturday and make some cuts after y'all made fun of me Saturday.
Whoa, I told you Saturday. I said if Toronto wins this next game,
Yeah.
you might as well stick a pin in Boston because that means all the momentum that they had stopped.
I mean, Tom said the words, if Toronto wins game 4, which made it 2-2, he would say Toronto has a chance. A chance is 2-2.
I mean, I still think Boston is better,
They're the
but
defending champs.
I still think Boston is better, but Toronto, whatever, like I said, whatever momentum Boston was just riding, Toronto has literally just said, stop. You just stop right here. Now we're back to 0. We're back at 0. It's 0-0, really.
Yeah, Toronto's tough.
I picked them in Denver to go to the finals based on coaching and teamwork.
I would only stick with one of those picks if I was you.
The reason Denver's not playing the secret weapon, so I can't stick with
Talking about
that.
Bobo.
My pick was based on he's getting 20 minutes a night.
Never.
So when you look at these teams, Milwaukee, they got one guy, no, not that great. Boston's got 3 perimeter guys. What are they going to do in the lane? Indiana, Miami's okay. They haven't had to what they lose. They lost the one game they lost in the playoffs so far, and Giannis wasn't on the court.
Chris
half
Middleton
the team.
dropped 36.
Half the team.
I'm shocked that Miami went up 3-0.
They went up 7-0.
Well, I'm talking about against Milwaukee. No,
crazy.
I'm talking about against.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that Miami's playing that well against Milwaukee. I'm just shocked.
That series is over.
It's 3-1.
I don't
That's
see.
over.
I don't see Milwaukee winning 3
Well, that's what
straight.
I'm saying. I'm just shocked. I mean, I didn't
I'm
see
more
that
shocked
one.
that Milwaukee last night when Giannis went out didn't just lay over.
Well, that's because Middleton finally balled out. He had 36.
He had to. He had to.
Although I guess if there's a season to come back from 3-0, this is it with no home court advantage.
The
no more home court
reason
games
I
for
went with
Miami?
those teams is because of what you're talking about, Andy, is that this is just a weird setup. We don't have home court. Some guys don't even want to be there. George Hill don't want to be there. Some of the other guys don't want to be
George
there.
Hill. That's
George Hill's my boy.
He's come out. He's come out still. He just don't want to be there. He don't think they should be playing. So when you got if you got a player on your team saying he don't want to be there and don't think anybody should be playing at all, and then your best player hurts his ankle and you really don't have a 2
and
and 3,
he's questionable for Game 5.
I just Milwaukee I didn't think they would make the finals to begin with. I just didn't know when it would be, and I didn't have the heat.
I had
of course,
Boston. I had Boston in the
heat
finals.
kicking their
but
ass.
If Miami keeps playing like they are, Who am I to say no to playoff Jimmy? Who am I to say no to playoff Jimmy? It's crazy to think Bill Simmons before the playoffs even started bet Clippers the Heat. Well, it might come true.
Would you have taken in 2020 if say the Heat do make the finals, that a all white backcourt makes the NBA finals in 2020?
Dragic, Harrow, Robinson, whichever one you want.
Isn't Dragic coming off the bench this year? Hero's better than I thought he was going to be.
The Hero's pulled out. The one that's impressed everybody the most, Duncan Robinson. He's undrafted.
Yeah.
Undrafted.
He's a player.
He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league right now. And
I've always liked Dragic.
Yeah, I liked Dragic when he was with the Suns.
Yeah,
What always surprised me about this series, though, going into this series, this was a few weeks ago when it first started, I told Kevin, I said, Kevin, I think the Bucks will win the series, but it will not surprise me if Miami wins some games and makes it difficult. And it's mostly because, and I'll hit on this because I think it's really a factor here. Emotionally, I think Milwaukee's out of it.
Checked out.
I think emotionally they're checked out. If they had that small little break, they're the ones that started the boycott because Orlando really was ready to play. But Miami or Milwaukee was the one that was still waiting, and they were the ones that were saying, we really don't want to play right now. So if it's not Giannis, because I think Giannis is locked in, I don't think everybody on that team is emotionally checked in. Like you said, George Hill said he didn't even want to be there. Now, I know they're professionals, and they need to just show up and play when they're told to because that's their job. So, But emotionally, that's always going to be there. 2 is because technically Miami has more consistent players a la shooters than Milwaukee has. Milwaukee's most consistent player we know is Giannis. Chris Middleton is hit and miss. Lopez is hit and miss. Bledsoe's hit and miss. George Hill is hit and miss. So everybody I'm listing that could be of their potential starting 5 is hit and miss. Jimmy Butler, go out there, get you 25. Harrow can get you 15.
Butler was the fourth.
Bam.
I like Bam.
Bam. And who knew that Jay Crowder was going to come out here and say, I know how to shoot threes?
Butler was the 4th leading scorer in the game the other night when they got beat.
Yeah, I mean, and that's ridiculous. Jimmy Butler became the
17.
third Heat player to drop 40 in a game the other night, along with Dwayne Wade and LeBron.
Dragic went 1 for 9 from threes and had the same number of points as Butler. And they got beat by 3 in
They played
overtime.
bad and barely lost.
He got beat in overtime.
Well, what did Giannis play, about half a game before he hurt his ankle?
I think it was around half.
11 minutes.
Oh, he only played 11.
Oh, I was going to say.
Oh.
He probably only played 11, but it probably ran over between first and second quarters.
He had 19 points in 11 minutes.
Oh, that's an efficient 11 minutes.
Listen.
That's Bobo range right there.
I will never say, I've said this all year about Giannis, as long as teams don't have big men in the paint, he's going to be dominant because nobody's down there to challenge him.
Right.
He's so big, so fast. Sure, he still is kind of awkward sometimes when he goes to the paint, but he's only 25. People forget him. He's only 25. He is so dominant in the paint. That doesn't surprise me because the only person I think that could maybe match up with him in the paint is Bam, because Bam, I think, matches him slightly athletically. I don't think he's as tall as Giannis is, but I think Bam matches up with him. But they've had Jay Crowder really be the one that has defended against Giannis, and Crowder cannot keep up with Giannis speed-wise. So what I've noticed Miami really had to do was play just basically wall ball. You just put the wall in front of them at the paint, and it works.
You mean kind of like what Toronto did last year?
Yes, exactly.
Similar.
Exactly. Because of what I said earlier. They know everybody else from Milwaukee's so inconsistent. They're like, we're not going to let Giannis beat us. So, at this point, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should have picked Miami from the beginning to win this series. Hell, I didn't think that Chris Middleton was going to be a no-show till the one game that mattered most.
Yeah.
And then guess what? He'll vanish again.
And going back to your inconsistency, I was looking at Middleton's stats, regular season versus playoffs. He is not shooting anywhere near as well overall. I know he had a good game the last game, but
I think he's averaging right now in this series, though, like a lot better than he has the whole playoffs.
Yeah, for the whole playoffs, his shooting was clearly worse if you take also into account the first round. So then that begs the question.
And that was against Orlando.
Right. So that begs the question: if let's say if Milwaukee can keep Giannis, because at the end of whenever his contract his Giannis might stay, might leave.
It's this offseason maybe.
Does Milwaukee going forward need to make a major trade? Do they not have the right pieces around him?
So keeping him?
No. I'm saying like if Giannis stays, let's say he says, you know what, I'm going to take the max, whatever,
And stay in Milwaukee.
and stay in Milwaukee. Do you keep rolling with what you have, or do you try to make a major trade?
Make a major. I don't even know if you make a major trade more than you have to either that or just try and coax in another free agent. That's gonna be tough because it's Milwaukee. But I mean, you could look at them and say, I mean, look who's gonna be next to you. I mean, you got Giannis here.
That's the draw, not Milwaukee.
I was gonna say, why else did LeBron actually get Kevin Love to come to Cleveland?
Who are the big free agents? Brandon Ingram. Who are big free agents next year?
I don't know. I do not.
But I mean, Brandon Ingram really would fit really well because he's a shooter.
Isn't he restricted though? See, after at the end of your rookie contract, you're restricted for that first one where
this is
a team can match.
What makes it so tough for Giannis is the fact that he is in Milwaukee. That's what makes it so tough for him to get a little bit more help other than just Chris Middleton. And I'm not going to sit here and say Chris Middleton is bad, but he's not the second piece. He would be a third piece if you want to go to those teams that have the 3 stars. Right. He could be a good third piece.
Right.
But you need somebody else that's consistent.
And if you can't sign a free agent, that means you're going to have to package somebody with some draft picks to get an actual
star.
Right.
Or someone of almost star caliber.
Right.
Like, who would really fit this team really well? Would have been a Tyler Herro or a Duncan Robinson. They're 3-point shooters. And Duncan Robinson would have been perfect for this. I know, obviously, he was undrafted and they picked him up, but, could you imagine if he would have been on this team? Because, Bledsoe, inconsistent. There's just one word that I just keep going back to, and it's inconsistent. If I'm not talking about Giannis. Because I know what Giannis is going to do. He's going to drop me between 20 to 25 and get me 13 to 14 rebounds.
Right. Is Anthony Davis going to be a free agent?
I think so.
Yeah, he's only there because it was a trade and it was towards the end of his contract with the Pelicans.
What's
so
Giannis's
after this year,
deal
technically, yes, Anthony Davis' contract is up, but he'll be a
deal
Laker.
then? He's not listed as a potential free agent.
I think he's got. I think he's got.
Year?
Yeah, I think next year is the end. That's why the talks have been so much about. Well, if a team can package it together and trade for Giannis, it would be better for Milwaukee than letting him just walk.
Here's your free agencies: Anthony Davis, Brandon Ingram, DeMar DeRozan, Andre Drummond, Gordon Hayward, Gallinari, Mike Conley, Fred VanVleet.
I think Gallinari would fit that perfectly in Milwaukee.
Montrezl Harrell.
3-point shooter.
Not for number 2 man though.
I know, not for number 2 man.
Serge Ibaka.
For more consistent players, maybe unload a Bledsoe.
Kevin, isn't Brandon Ingram, ain't that a restricted free agent? Okay, see, that's the problem. Of those names you mentioned, of what combination of legit number 2 and somebody who can shoot threes, if you got, because you would pick, I remember, I'm going to give Andy some credit. He had said before the beginning of the NBA season last year, he said, I'm marking it down. Brandon Ingram's going to be an all-star. And I said, okay, let's see if that happens. He played great this year.
Most improved player.
Yeah, he played great. So I'm giving Andy some credit on calling that one. But
I think Brandon would do good in that system because even though he can drive the paint, I think we all can admit it, Giannis is limited to the paint. Jump shot is non-existent right now.
Not where it needs to be.
Not where it needs to be. But B.I. can shoot. Keep Chris Middleton along that if you can. There's your third man. He can still shoot. And he wouldn't have to have all the weight that Giannis has to carry going forward. Because what Giannis is right now is exactly what LeBron was first time in Cleveland. He's just carrying it all on his back.
All right, that's a comparison.
That's a close comparison.
That's close.
Same thing with Dwight in Orlando. Dwight's is taking them where they need to go.
Gotcha.
I'm about to go walk down the hall and check on something, but I'll get you guys started in the right direction. Lakers and Rockets is where I wanted to go next. Rockets win game 1. Before the series started, I guess, we talked a little bit about it, Andy, a couple weeks ago. As far as Lakers are concerned, I don't think the Lakers can guard them. Now, whether they can guard the Lakers, that's a different question. I don't know about that, but I don't think the Lakers can guard the Rockets.
That first game, I think, was just a layup. Rust on the Lakers. They'd been off for a week.
Well,
Rockets had played 7 games. They were in rhythm.
So with Giannis's problem, I think your top 3 guys need to get 75 points. So the top 2, I think, really need to get 60, but I'll deal with 55. So if you're going against the Lakers, so you've got Harden and Westbrook against Anthony Davis and LeBron. Y'all think that's a push roughly? Both
I would
added
favor
together
LeBron and Anthony Davis as a better combo.
Points wise, are they both going to get around 60 added together? Is where I'm
They
getting.
usually do.
Either
It's
35.
It's close. I mean, you can say
25.
we can say for sake of argument. Yeah, I mean they'll be close.
So when you look at that, I don't think either one of them can guard. I don't think the Rockets are equipped to guard those two. And I don't think the Lakers are equipped to guard those two. So if that whitewashes, then what you got? So you got Eric Gordon against who's the best for the Lakers next best. So that's where the things are
Lakers kind of rotate either Kuzma
right.
or
That's where the
Markieff
things.
Morris.
That's where the things are
Yeah,
going
but
to start to
Kuzma
get
is another
difficult.
inconsistent player.
That's things where they're going to start to get difficult with the Lakers. If the Lakers had Avery Bradley, I think I'd pick him in a heartbeat because you got a guy that can guard the threes and a guy that can shoot the threes. Now, I think this is going to be a series where the Lakers can win, fine, playing their game, but to me, it's going to be Houston. You shoot yourself to a win, or you shoot yourself to a loss.
That's pretty much their MO.
And
every year.
I think they can beat them because they don't have. I don't think the Lakers can score enough to where that they can be just dominant. It's hard, Andy, to beat in today's NBA to beat everybody dunking it with layups. While Anthony Davis and LeBron are taking layups, Harden and Westbrook and Gordon are jacking up threes. So the math without that extra 3-point shooting for LA, I think the Rockets can get them. I don't know if they will, but I think they can.
Lakers 4-2.
4-2. Well, see, that's 6 games. I mean,
I've said from Jump Street in the West,
let me go down the hall.
I thought the best two teams were the two Los Angeles teams, so I expect the Clippers and the Lakers to meet in the Western
I
Conference
think
Finals.
that's everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
So
most people.
Yeah, most.
What I've seen right now, I would agree with you.
And going back to a point you made earlier, okay, Andy thinks the Lakers will win that series 4-2. Let's say it's tied 3-3. Who in here trusts James Harden in a game 7?
Against LeBron.
After what I just saw against the Thunder, no.
Okay.
No. The Rockets, I'll just say this. Where they did good in game 1.
And they're a fun team to watch. When they're hitting them threes,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
a fun team to
Where
watch.
they did good in game 1 is they held Anthony Davis and LeBron to 20 and 25. They almost both had 30. Anthony Davis had 34. LeBron James had 28. So he almost had 35. What you cannot have, though, if you're the Rockets, is Russell Westbrook running around like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
That's your boy, Andy.
That's exactly what he's. He had 10 points and was minus 14. Minus 14 on the night. He had 7 turnovers. 7 turnovers. And I know I'm just reading statistics, but I watched game 1, and he was actually he kind of played good in game 1 against the Lakers. He was, dishing and diming. If the shot wasn't there for him, he was getting everybody else involved. But it's almost as if he's reaching to try and get his shot going. It's one of those things where I was like, shooters are going to shoot if they think they can get out of a slump. All they got to do is see one go down. Well, I think that's what Russ is trying to do and just isn't getting any of them going down.
His jumper's been off for the last year or so.
Yeah, so you need Russell Westbrook to produce more. I mean, P.J. Tucker gave you 17, James Harden gave you the 27, and Eric Gordon gave you 24. So,
them numbers sound okay.
Yeah, those sounded good.
Until you
Russell Westbrook at 10.
Yeah,
because look, I can read you everybody else that was the starting 5 outside of Russell Westbrook. Covington 17, P.J. Tucker 18, Eric Gordon 24, James Harden 27.
And this is the game they lost.
Yes, last night.
You would think that would be a game they would have won.
Yeah,
Right.
you would think that would have been the game they
That's
won,
right.
and they lost. Because, so there were the starters, 18, 17, 10, 24, and 27 for the Rockets.
You would think that would
For the Lakers, the starters, 34, 28, 0, 9, 5.
And the Lakers still won.
Rondo had 10, Kuzma had 13, Marcus Morris had, or whichever Morris that is, I can't remember. They don't put the first name in front of it. Is 16. They had one dude on the score 13 on the bench for the Rockets, but everybody else that played had 0 points. So this game still was close. It was only 109 to 117.
Is that the one where the Lakers got out to like a 20-point lead, and it came
back.
back?
It came back. So the Rockets can shoot themselves in the games. The problem is late, I don't want it in Russell's hands. And I don't know, this might be crazy to say because of how good he is. I don't know if I really want Russ out there in my final 3 minutes. Because as much as he wants to make a play, the 7 turnovers tells me he's got a higher opportunity of turning the ball over than getting the assist. I mean, James Harden has still been out here throwing dimes around. Harden had 7 assists. Russell Westbrook only had 4. Westbrook got a 4 to 7 assist to turnover ratio. It's really not that good. So to me, I had that problem when he was coming back to play against the Thunder. I had the Thunder winning that. So I picked the Thunder to win that series before it happened just because I thought overall the Thunder were really clicking. And I didn't know how the dynamic of Harden and Westbrook was going to work out. I know they worked a little bit during the season. It had been time off. Westbrook got there late. He got hurt, and then he wasn't going to play. And then he was coming back, and I said, well, how much is that going to affect how their offense is running right now? Because they smoked the Thunder in Game 1. They beat them in Game 2, and then the Thunder tied it up when Westbrook came back. So to me, I was like, all right, something is not working here with Westbrook and Harden being on the floor at the same time. And then you have the game like Game 1 against the Lakers where they both play great, everybody else plays great, and you win. You're like, oh, maybe it'll work. And then they play this game, and you look at Russell Westbrook, negative 14. You're like, oh, it's got to be him. So I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Russell Westbrook. I really do. For years, when he was with Oklahoma City, I hated him. And it was because I had the biggest problem with him playing point guard. His whole career, if he'd have played shooting guard, he'd been probably one of the best shooting guards of all time. Seriously. I'm not saying just from the three-point line. I'm saying like how AI was shifty, going to go to the lane. When he finally moved to shooting guard, he started winning or making a championship run. But he just, to me, with him being the point guard, would always get in Kevin Durant's way. And I felt like how that was going to be when Paul George was there. Russell Westbrook was going to go out there and get his, but always get in Paul George's way. And now that he plays shooting guard, because they put James Harden at the point guard position when they have both of them on there, he has his moments. But I think just Russell was so... He's erratic at times.
Yeah, he doesn't fit well with most teams anyway. He's just a different kind of player.
They're two ball dominant players, and that was one problem I had. That's why I was surprised that they won Game 1 against the Lakers. I was sitting there with a buddy of mine watching the game at a sports bar, and when the Rockets would come down, it would be in James Harden or Russell Westbrook's hand. Everybody else would just stand in the corner or stand on the perimeter. Because, of course, they don't have the big man to go down there and try and win the offensive rebound, so you just got to pray to God that you hit the three-pointer.
It's always funny to see P.J. Tucker and four other guys from the other team in the paint after a shot.
P.J. Tucker was doing a good job in Game 1 against Anthony Davis. I know he had 25, but, I mean, AD just had 34 last night. What I think is going to be the Achilles heel if the Lakers do lose this series, I don't think they will to the Rockets. If they do, it's going to be Frank Vogel. I think Frank Vogel will be the reason that they lose this series because he goes away from what I think will work. This is the one time I think you can outscore a team by scoring more twos than they score threes. Because you are so much bigger. And my start, post up, but AD doesn't want to play in the post. He plays mid-range and he plays in the three-point line. That irritates me too. If I was Frank Vogel, I'd say AD, JaVale, Dwight, whoever's in, you sit your ass right here in the paint and we are going to feed you. I've seen if the ball comes off, AD is so much taller than everybody. He just stands there and gets the rebound. Dwight, JaVale. This is your one opportunity to outscore a team by doing nothing but scoring twos and maybe hitting a random three. Then they can shoot threes. And that's all you have to do. But that's going to come down to Frank Vogel saying, this is how we're going to play. LeBron, feed the ball into the paint. I know you love to get your assist. Feed the ball into the paint.
Or you let
this is your opportunity.
Even let LeBron post up.
Yeah, because who's guarding him? LeBron's still 6'9".
If AD wants to play outside,
the tallest player on the floor for the Rockets is 6'9", and he's Covington. And you're probably going to put him on
LeBron
AD or whoever else is there. I'm just saying, like, you have such a size mismatch. Don't play how they want you to play this game, which is just shoot threes. Get in the paint and just rough them up. Just do it. I think that's exactly how the Lakers can win this series. I still think they will, but I don't think it would go necessarily 6 or 7. I think the Lakers could do that in the next 3 if they just would do that.
They play tonight.
No, they play tomorrow. They played tomorrow. They played last night.
Clippers tonight.
Tonight is Celtics Raptors at 6:30. Clippers Nuggets at.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
9:00.
Watching some b-ball,
basketball.
Yeah, that's two good series. Both of these series. Saturday, I was told I was nuts for picking, the other team. I was told if the Raptors win, they'll have a chance, even though they're 2-2.
I'm still sticking with Boston.
That's fine. But the way Terry talks about and Tom talks about them was like they're down 2-1 Chris, we're talking to them like they've only won 30 games this year. And they're not the number 2 seed. They're the defending champions. We're going to dominate. And I'm like, he said they should be up 3-0, and I said you could be down 3-0 or not 3-0. I said 3-0, but I was wrong. First game I couldn't have. But the second game,
You could have been tied.
after the first game, Marcus Smart hit 5 threes in the first game. I told Hunter, I said, Marcus Smart ain't hitting 5 threes in no other damn game he ever plays in. Well, the next game he played in, he hit 6. 5 in the fourth quarter.
Whoops.
So, and the Raptors in that game missed 28 threes. So, Andy, if I say you missed 28 threes and Marcus Smart hit
6.
more than he ever hit in his career, and you lost by 3,
Feel as good as you can feel about a loss.
you didn't get stomped into the ground, is what I'm saying. Like that's not like you just got whipped. And then you got lucky making a big shot again in the third game. But either way, the win game 4, and now it's 2-2, and then we got a series. So, how do you guys see this series going? Boston is actually favored by 1.5 tonight against the Raptors. The reason I like the Raptors. I think I like the coach better, but I have no faith in Kemba Walker. And he's going against the guy who took his All-Star spot every year until they started adding 5 point guards. So Kyle Lowry's been the Kemba nemesis for me. And then here he goes. Fat boy, little Khalid El-Amin wannabe.
There's that name again.
Is giving all he can give to Kemba.
Who takes the final shot for Boston if it's a close game? Tatum?
Tatum.
Or it's not Kemba, is it?
It should be Tatum.
It's
It should be
Tatum.
Tatum.
I would want Kemba to take it, really, but
Well, cardiac
I don't mind
Kemba is
Tatum.
for real. All right.
I don't
mean,
trust Jaylen
Kemba
Brown, though.
has hit big shots his whole career.
yeah, he's
But-
not afraid to take the shot.
But
Yeah.
I want who's not afraid to take it and can get open, really.
But I still
I
won't
like
hurt
having
me
the
if-
best player. Tatum's the best player. Give it to
Yeah,
Tatum.
but he went to Duke. How do you trust that?
He's the best player.
Duke's only made one good shot in the history of the NBA. Do you know what shot it was?
You talking about Kyrie?
Yeah, Duke players have made one good
That
shot.
doesn't
in
even
the history of
count.
the
He
league.
was there for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
That's it.
he don't even count as a Duke player.
No.
You've taken as many classes at Duke than Kyrie has, haven't you?
Probably. Probably.
Was you in the flat Earth class at Duke?
Oh, no.
No,
Not at
no,
all. I
no,
refused. I refused.
Nah, I like
they
having
put
a
it a
little
part
fun
of my
with
curriculum over there, and I refused.
But anyway, Celtics Raptors. What you got, Chris?
Celtics in 7.
Andy, if they go 7, I'm definitely picking Raptors. Celtics better beat them in 6. I think.
I'm picking the champs till they get beat. You gotta beat the champ.
Okay.
Hunter, you still feeling your Celtics?
Yeah,
right
I
now?
got the Celtics
All
in
right,
6.
we're 2-2
So
on
two,
that.
two,
still.
two on that one. Okay.
Heading over to La La Land. I mean, I'll be as honest as I can. The Clippers should win, but they didn't last night or the night before. I don't think the Clippers got anybody that can guard Jokic. Now, can they guard the Clippers? I don't think so. So they can guard Murray, but I don't think they got anybody that can guard Jokic. But hell, the Nuggets did a pretty good job on Kawhi the other night. What did he get? Wasn't much, was it?
13. I read that wrong.
110-101 win from the Nuggets.
I watched that game until halftime with the Nuggets and the Clippers. And let me tell you something. Clippers couldn't hit the broadside of the barn for the first half.
Clippers only won 3 more
And
games
then,
than the Nuggets this year.
the first quarter alone, Jamal Murray had his way. I mean, I think Jamal Murray is an up-and-coming stud anyways. I said that when the playoffs first started, when they were playing Utah. I said, this team, like, I know what Jokic can do, but the X factor is Jamal Murray. Because,
Right.
and a buddy of mine asked me when we were at a brewery one time, he said, because I was talking about it, I said, look, Denver's got a really good opportunity. They got a good young squad. He said, well, who do you want them to, who do you want, like, because like we just said, who's going to take the last shot? If the game's on the line for them, who's going to take the last shot? I was like, it was Jamal Murray. It's Jamal Murray.
Definitely is now.
Michael Porter Jr. is not there yet. Maybe one day, because he can score. Maybe one day, but
Right.
he's still a rookie. Jokic, not really. Jamal Murray.
Jokic is more of like your point center.
Yeah.
He's more of a
Jokic is the one that's going to catch the inbound and feed it to the guy you want to take the,
Right,
take
right.
the last
That's
shot.
right, that's
You're
right.
gonna design the play through him.
Now, I mean, if you're talking about teams that if everybody stays healthy should contend the next 5 years, well, with Denver having Jokic, Jamal Murray, Kevin's boy, Bol.
They should trade his ass.
and-
if you ain't
and-
gonna play him, trade his ass. If he sucks
Listen.
that big, trade him.
And Michael Porter
To Charlotte.
Jr.
This,
No, look, that's a good four core if they stay healthy.
I want you to
That's
think about
good.
this. This was a 9-point game, and Kawhi Leonard only scored 13 points. That ain't happening again.
Yeah, I think the Clippers beat
That's not happening again.
Beat the Nuggets.
And I'm so high on Kawhi Leonard. I've already asked
Maybe
multiple
they got
people.
his number.
I'm
Maybe
already
they got
asking
his
a bunch
shit.
of people. I'm saying, so if he wins his third championship and gets a third Finals MVP with a different team, when do we start talking top 10? If not, some people could start talking top 5. And no one else has done it. 3 different places, 3 Finals MVPs.
That'd be unreal.
That just
Of
means
course, LeBron could also do that this
Well,
year,
yeah,
too.
you're right.
All
But
that-
we've already
yeah,
already solidified
that's
as LeBron is a top maybe 5. Some
being
people
in
would only
different-
say top 10
being
player.
in different
But
places thing I don't.
well, what about these back-to-back
That don't
years?
get me going.
That
What about
the
these
needle.
back-to-back
That don't move
years?
my needle
He
as
went
far
from
as, like,
Toronto.
What that means
to
is
the
other people
Clippers.
didn't want you on your damn team.
No.
No, that is
That is a damn lie. Everybody and their brother. For God's sakes, LeBron was trying to get Kawhi to go to the
Hey,
Lakers. Everybody wants him.
If they really wanted him, there could have been some back under the table deals. So if they really
Yeah,
wanted him,
Minnesota Timberwolves tried that with Joe Smith. How'd that work for them? They end up with Kevin Garnett and a bunch of for several
all I gotta
years,
say
till,
is
forfeiting
Kawhi
them
only
picks.
scored 13. He lost by 9. That's not happening again. That's not happening again.
well, hell, he'd need 22 just to tie the game.
I'll say Clippers in 6 on that one, 4-2.
I could see it in 5. I could see this being a
Yeah, they might have got Denver might have got their game.
Okay.
yeah. They might have got their
All right.
one.
They're only 3 games ahead of them
Yeah,
in the
but
regular
you can't-
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Who's gonna show up
regular
postseason
season,
time? Who's showing up postseason time? I just saw the Utah Jazz with a limited offense take you to 7 games because your coach doesn't know who to play in what situations.
Jokic is
Mr.
a
Bol.
Jokic is a walking triple-double.
Okay.
Clippers can't do nothing about it. Can't do nothing.
Well, the Nuggets don't play
They just gotta
defense
hope
at
he-
all.
They just gotta hope he misses. Is what they got to do. Zubac, whatever
As
that
much-
is.
and look,
Is he
I-
Duke?
and
Is
look-
he from Duke?
He backs the man.
He sounds
No.
like a Duke player.
He's not.
Is that a Duke
No,
player?
it's
You
not.
think about Zubac
Yeah.
from many years ago.
Same
He
shit.
won a national championship, so
Yep, he did.
I'm just saying. Look, Jamal Murray and Jokic are going to do their thing, but you got 13 out of Paul Millsap. Tell me when he's done that all playoffs.
I was
not.
about to say, he got lost and scored 13.
He hasn't. So guess what? He's not going to do it again.
Yeah, but look at the line below him. That's the one that usually gets the 13.
Grant.
He
Yeah,
played.
well, he might get 9.
Here's your campaign for Bobo, Andy. Jeremy Grant, 40 minutes, 5 points. Mason Plumlee, 11 minutes, 2 points. Torrey Craig, 17 minutes, 3 points. A combined 68 minutes, 10 points.
Maybe Bobo's hurt and we just don't know.
Do you think he gets
Maybe
10
he just isn't ready.
You think he gets more than 10 points in 68 minutes?
If he's healthy, yes.
I don't care if he's not. He do it left-handed.
Maybe.
Especially in the last series.
Listen, maybe.
If they say, well, we didn't put him out here because of his defense. He can't guard Joe Ingles? What the fuck is Joe Ingles doing? What is he doing? Who's he crossing up?
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, who's he guarding in this game?
Anybody.
Listen, I still don't think he's got like
Bobo
his NBA
will shut
feel.
Morris, whichever the fuck that one is, down. He's done.
Oh, and this too. Ain't no way Pat Beverly has 2 points again. There's no way Pat Beverly has 2 points.
He needs to get his
again.
attitude in check. He's getting abused by
He's getting
Jamal
snippy.
Murray right now.
He is getting
He's
snippy.
a little-
He is
That's
getting
what,
snippy.
that's what happens when defenders get smoked. They start getting texts.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to guard Jamal Murray when he's
He is.
rolling. I mean, that's,
Yeah, it's
that's
tough.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough. I like him. I like Jamal Murray a lot. I just don't. I think the Clippers just last night, Kawhi in the last series was averaging 30. He dropped 30 again in the first game. Well, guess what?
Had a bad
Man, he had just an off
game.
night,
Happens.
It happens. It does happen.
4 of 17 is not too good at all.
No.
Lou Williams went 6 of 16.
The best one that night was Paul George.
Had
And he
7
was the one that the whole
Playoff
first
P.
game series, the whole first series, I was like, well, where is Paul George? Well, now he's finally
Well, they had
up.
7 guys scoring double figures. So, going back to, I want 2 guys. And the way I come up with the number of 60 was, Jordan and Pippen. That's what I think. They're going to get 35 and 25. And then after that, they still need 40 points from somebody. So that's why when I look at these teams like that, I look at that. So Jokic and Murray got 53 last night, right at the 55 mark. And then they got Millsap 13, Gary Harris 13, Michael Porter 11, and Morris 10. So that's Monte Morris, not one of the Morris twins. We got too many M. Morrises.
Too
lot of-
many.
a lot of
Too many.
points.
3 of them I can think of, and they're all in the playoffs in the West.
Deal with that. But yeah, I mean, as far as Bobo is concerned, they should just trade him or cut him. I mean, what a waste.
Oh, they're not going to cut him, Kevin.
They won't.
They'll trade him, man.
And the Hornets could have had both Michael Porter Jr. and Bo Bowl.
You're right.
No, we're gonna draft.
They could have had Jamal Murray too.
A lot of playoff people.
They could have had a lot of
we could
people.
have.
They could have had a lot of people.
So
Coulda,
you're talking
coulda,
about
coulda.
who's the, PJ Tucker over there in Houston. You talk about the rebounding and the defense and everything. Yeah, and so I'll always go back to Barkley as far as the rebounding and Rodman. Both, neither one of them. They both out rebounded Shaq. Shaq's the biggest damn person walking on the floor, and Barkley and Rodman both out rebounded him. So is it want or is it it's a lot of skill, but a lot of it's want too.
No, so much. It's both. It's both.
I would say it's 70% skill. Well, it might be 50-50 when you look at it, because if you don't want it, you ain't going to go if it's on your side of the rim.
Could you make the same argument about defense? You've got to want to play some defense.
Listen, I believe LeBron could play some good defense if he wants to, but I don't think he wants to all the time.
He turns it on when he needs it.
Right. There's a ton of players like that. They can play good defense
When they want to.
When they want to. But here's Barkley's rebounding. You talk about the old PJ Tucker. Barkley, 6'4", 6'5", depending on which thing you read. You go down. If you look at a picture of him, he looks shorter than Jordan. I think.
Let's say he's somewhere between 6'4" and 6'6", depending on
that's his thing.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, Rodman's 6'8", 6'9"?
He's about 6'8".
So neither one of them close to 7 foot, and both out rebounding Shaq by a lot. Like Barkley, his rebounds. This is crazy. The first year 8.5. Okay. Then 12, 14, 11, 12, 11, 10, 11, 12, 11, 11, 11, 13, 11, 12, and 10. 1 year in his career, he had less than 10 rebounds.
Well, in that first year, his also probably teammates with Moses Malone on Philadelphia and Julius Erving. So, I mean, there wasn't quite as many rebounds to go around. Kind of like y'all were talking about with Larry Bird. And you had Bird, McHale, and Parrish.
Bird's amazing. He averaged 10 rebounds a game at small forward with those two 7-footers on the team.
That's right, with McHale and Parrish.
That's insane. That's want.
It is.
That's right.
Yes.
When you're small forward, he gets 10 rebounds for his career.
And having two Hall of Fame
big men, taller than you, and you're getting just as many rebounds as them. So, man, a lot of that's want. And Shaq, you can – the kids today, they look at Shaq. That's all we do today is say, he's taller and bigger, he's better than these people. And they kind of do it across the board with, all the athletes today. And Shaq, for as big as he was, for as good as he was, he could have been better. And a lot of people will say that. He could have hit his free throws. He could have played D. He should have been getting 15 boards a game that big. He's getting 10 or 11.
Could have been better.
Do what?
He'll probably tell you he could have been.
Right.
But he won
Just
4
he
titles.
didn't have to
He's
be.
got
Well, like Barkley told him the other day, what he told him, he said he told him Kobe and D-Wade carried his ass to 4 titles.
But okay, could you make the same argument? I mean, Dwight Howard could have been better. Dwight Howard's a tall, big guy, could jump out.
How good do you want him to be? He's what, 6'10"?
Mm-hmm. 6'10".
Made a final. He took Jameer Nelson to a finals and Hito Turkoglu.
and who was it? Jamal Lewis?
Jameer Nelson, Rashard Lewis was he was on that team. It was Turkoglu. Who's the 4? Was Rashard Lewis starting at 4?
Yeah, what they did is they
started small ball.
They had Dwight Howard in the middle, and you had Hito Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis as the 2 forwards. So you had Dwight getting about 14 rebounds a game. Those guys getting maybe 6 or 7 apiece. Let's see who all was on that team. I think J.J. Redick came off the bench. Jameer Nelson, I think, was the point guard. And the starting shooting guard, I can't remember who that was. But
did J.J. not start?
Well, not all the time. Some of the time, not all the time. It depended.
So Dwight, he's led the league in rebounding 5 times. Field goal percentage 2.1. He's led it once. He's led the league in blocks twice. He's scored. Nelson, for your credit, I'll give you this. I think he could have got more points now looking at his points.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I'm not complaining about the rebound.
No, I don't think so either.
I think he could have scored more points. Yeah, he could have scored more.
If he had a jumper like Patrick Ewing,
his jumper was,
it would be something different.
Dwight's jumper was limited.
He's never had a jumper. If he had a Patrick Ewing jumper, he would have probably got 25 a game. Instead, I mean, his best year was 22-9, and he only got 24 times.
Okay, I just looked at J.J. Redick in Orlando. He in no season started at least half the games. Is always less than half. So he was mainly your looks like first guy off the bench as far as on the perimeter.
Who they play in the finals?
The Lakers. The Lakers beat them 4-1.
They had 2 7-footers, right?
That was
That wasn't Shaq.
No.
That was Paul and
you had Pau Gasol and the guy
Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, Bynum.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm looking at the decision. You said 4-1, right?
Yeah.
Kind of looking at it.
Anderson, was it Anderson? Who was their other guard?
You talking about Orlando?
Courtney Lee started.
Not who
He started all 5 games in the series.
That was not who I was thinking.
Rafer Austin started all 5 games in that series. Jameer Nelson.
Oh wait, Ray Frost. That's was that hot? No, it wasn't.
He was in the N1 stuff.
Yeah, Jameer Nelson and Reddick came off the bench in that series. Actually,
Oh, Jameer.
was
did
Jameer
too.
hurt before that year or something?
I don't know.
Why was he coming off the bench? It seems like there
What
was a
was
reason.
Ray Frost's nickname?
Skip to Malou.
Oh, he was Skip to Malou.
Right?
Okay.
I think that's right.
That's right. Skip to Malou. He wasn't hot sauce. He was Skip to Malou.
But listen to this lineup. This is who Dwight took to the finals. Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, Skip to Malou, Michael Petrus, Courtney Lee, who was like the 10th best player in the Hornets one time, J.J. Redick, Jameer Nelson, Gortat, and Tony Battie.
But JJ's still dropping. He's still dropping 3-pointers, so he's still around.
God, he drug some scrubs to the finals. Let me read you the other team.
All right.
Kobe, Gasol, Lamar Odom, who was on crack. Trevor Ariza, Derek Fisher, Andrew Bynum, the great Luke Walton, and there's some others.
Although, let me say
Vucevic was on that team.
But let me say this: I don't think that's any worse than the crew that LeBron drug in 2007 with Cleveland. I mean,
He not have all-stars on that team?
he did not have somebody who was an all-star that year.
It wasn't that year, right?
He didn't have another one that year. Let's see here.
That was against the Spurs. Was that when Duncan thanked LeBron for another championship? Or was that the first one? He thanked him one time. I remember seeing him in the hallway or something. And he said, "Thank you for that." Tony Parker was balling in those games. 27, 30. The Drunas Ilgauskas was on that team.
Okay, so here during the regular season was the per game points average of that 07 Cleveland team. So LeBron gets you about 27. The great Larry Hughes getting you 14 and change. Drew Gooden 11, and Big Z about 12.
Varejao, forgot about Snow.
Ilgauskas was the only other All-Star on that team. I think.
He made it.
He made it twice, didn't he?
Let's see. Big Z. Let's see when he made it twice in 03 and 05.
Yeah. 2-time All-Star, 1997, 88 All-Rookie team. Zdrunas Ilgauskas. Is that your favorite player, Hunter?
No.
And he actually missed 2 full seasons because of injury early in his career.
Yeah. All right. Did we get all the series there in basketball? We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, we
soon.
did. There's only
All right.
It's only 4.
yeah.
Was there anything else on y'all's news and notes that y'all wanted to get into before we get out of here today?
Just
or anything?
real quick,
Anything fun?
I just wanted to agree with something Andy said on a previous podcast. If I had the number 1 pick, I'd take Wiseman.
Yeah.
Yep.
What does that mean? Is that team in particular, or is that just any team?
I do not think in the NBA you should pick on need. I think you pick the best player available, and I think Wiseman is going to be the best player in this draft. Now, Andy, I think you said you don't think this is a great draft, and that might be true.
Mm-hmm.
But I think pick the best player, and in my opinion, it's Wiseman.
Okay.
My opinion. So.
Trying to think how I want to word that. This is going to be one of the drafts, if not the only draft, maybe since you've been alive, that you really don't even know. Most of the time we know who our top 2 picks are.
True.
And then the third pick is the pivotal pick on either that third team fucks it up real bad,
or
trades
it,
or they get lucky because the second guy in 2 is an idiot and picked Sam Bowie. So that happens. Or that guy's an idiot and picks Michael Kidd Gilchrist at the 2
or they pick who was it? Let's see, you had LeBron and then Darko. Oh, woo, that was a bad. Yeah, listen, Detroit could have won more than just that one title if instead of picking Darko, pick any of these 3: Melo, or Bosh, or Dwayne Wade. Any of them. They could have won another title.
One of them come out and said a couple weeks ago, actually talked about that, Chris. I think it was Rip or Chauncey. It might have been Chauncey. They said that even if they had Melo,
He'd have rode upon.
yeah, that first championship, he wouldn't have started, and they don't know if they'd won another one. But the first one they didn't need it because obviously they won it.
But the next year they got to the finals, lost in 7 to San Antonio. A better player than somebody who's not doing anything
I agree.
could take you from
I totally
losing a
agree.
7 game to win a 7 game.
Yeah, I think it might have cost them a second or third one. I don't think. Of course, it didn't cost them the first one because they won it.
I think it could have won a second. I think that could have been the difference.
It's just how do you fit Carmelo? Who do you sit on the bench?
Yeah, you bring Carmelo off the bench and let him
Let him
dominate
get
the
his-
second.
You make
Dominate the second-
Tayshaun
second
set the
team.
bench because he's your best defender.
Well,
Kinda.
no,
I
no,
guess both Wallaces were good defenders.
No,
too.
I'm going what Andy said. The first 2 years, bring him off the bench and say, look, when you're in, get your buckets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of like what they did with him this year in Portland. When
Right.
you're in, get your buckets.
Yes.
If you're the Hornets, let's say if you're the let's do this. If you're the Timberwolves, you have the choice of 7-footer with Cat or Edwards, basically. If you're the Warriors, you've already got your first 4. So you're either drafting a 7-footer in Wiseman to fill the starting lineup, trading that 2. And if you trade the 2, here's your other choice. Are you getting a backup for one of your other 4 positions? I mean, are you trading the 2 pick for a backup? Or do you trade the 2 pick for a starting center to fill in that starting lineup? Now, if they draft, let's talk about Vandy, you've got Curry, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond. If you draft somebody, who do you draft? Do you draft a point guard like LaMelo or one of these other guys? Or do you get like the Israel kid who can shoot threes and play 3 positions?
Minnesota's taking Edwards and Golden State's going to take Wiseman, and we're going to get stuck with a not great decision.
Get a little closer to your mic here.
Oh,
All right, say it again, Andy.
Minnesota's taking Edwards. Wiseman's going to Golden State, and we're going to get stuck with a bunch of bad options.
Although you were talking up, what's the guy's name from Israel who's
I like
6'9"?
him. I would never say
okay.
Advija.
Advija.
Advija. If you can.
I mean, what's the chances of him being another Luka?
Well, probably
10%.
Now, do you like Toppin?
I love Toppin.
Okay,
He
you like
won't-
Toppin.
he won't stop.
Okay, you won't Toppin.
Obi Toppin is the best wing scorer in the draft. If you're just talking, just coming out like what you've seen of him, because like I said, we don't have all the footage on the kid from Europe. So just someone that you've seen. Obi
you
Toppin
like-
is
you
the
like
best
Toppin.
wing
I like
scorer.
Obi. I just think he's closer to his ceiling already.
He's
Yeah, but
22-year-old
the-
sophomore.
And think about it.
is
None
weird.
of these freshmen phenom really ever just pop that come out into the NBA draft. They're not always a John Morant or a Zion.
Right,
I
right.
mean, Damian Lillard went and played 4 years at Weber State. CJ McCollum played his 3 or 4 years at Lehigh. Like most of the guys that have spent a little bit more time in college, and Obi was, I think, only in his sophomore, and the jump he made from his freshman to his sophomore year was tremendous. Is he more towards his ceiling? Yeah, but he can already score. That's the thing about him. He can already score. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a great defender, but damn it, nobody wants a defender right now. So if he can go out there and score, and he's big.
I
He's
hope he's awesome. Whoever
he's like
get, I hope they're
6'9",
awesome.
6'10". So
And let me. All right.
We need somebody to get me excited about the.
Well,
Hornets.
I'm gonna say all right. I'm not looking at stats right now, but I'm guessing that in the last 5 years, is it safe to say the only person who's averaged 20 points a game or more for Charlotte's been Kemba in the last 5 years, and maybe the last 10?
maybe him or Big Al when he was there with Charlotte at one point.
Maybe him. That was actually our one good free agent signing we did
That's
back
about
in the
it.
day.
That's probably it.
But
So,
see, okay,
needless to say, the Hornets have got a lot to do.
Right,
They've got
it's like this.
the expectations are high with this third pick.
because this year the team was not good and still didn't have anybody scoring 20 on a not good team, which means on a good team, none of them guys even scoring 15 probably.
Hell, I didn't think so, but Jefferson got 21.8 a game. Al Jefferson got 21.8 a game in
All right,
Charlotte.
so good call, Big Al.
I'd have never guessed that. I thought he got like 18 or something. His fat ass couldn't move.
Yeah, I mean, him and Kemba, they won a playoff series.
That was we
That's
squeezed.
it.
Hey, we squeezed the last bit of good basketball out of Al.
That was
Jefferson.
it.
They
We
did not
sque-
win a playoff.
They did. Well, they made it. They got beat by the Heat. I think that's what it was. Doesn't matter. I mean,
Did they get beat by the LeBrons?
yeah,
Was that when?
that was it. Then, regardless, they just ran the pick and roll and it worked.
All right.
That was it.
Y'all got anything else on anything?
Just
I know the only real
football
thing-
is here.
Only real other thing really he mentioned there, I guess, was Kawhi. Is he top 10 if he gets the third? My thing I'd like to point out is if you go through LeBron's career, was it 16, 17 years? Where are we at right now? How many years?
17th season.
I think
17th because he's 35.
LeBron's got how many? 3?
Look, LeBron has 3 titles and 6 other times made the finals.
How many people won 3 championships in LeBron's reign? We'll say. How many other players have won 3 titles in LeBron's 17 years?
How many Duncan win?
They won 3, I think. Didn't they win 5 total? Duncan got 5. He won 2 with David Robinson.
Right, he won 2 with David Robinson, and the other ones were Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, and then the last one, Kawhi got the Finals MVP on his last one. So Duncan got 3.
Steph's got how many?
He's got 3. Okay, he's got 3.
Okay.
Because first one without Durant, the last 2 with Durant.
Durant's 2-2 against LeBron in the finals, right? Or no, 2-1 against LeBron in the finals. 2-2 in the finals. He lost to Kawhi, technically, if you count that. Not being there, but whatever.
Let's see. Kobe won 2.
Dwayne Wade. Does his count with?
With Shaq.
LeBron was in the league.
It definitely counts. While LeBron was in the league. That's why I was trying to see how many players got multiple.
So if that's the case,
multiple chips.
Wade's got 3, but 2 of them was with LeBron, so it don't count.
Right. And same with Bosh. He got his with 2 with LeBron. Dirk got his 1.
So if Kawhi gets it this year, you're looking at Kawhi's got 3. He's got 3. Steph and Clay got 3.
And Tim. Oh,
Duncan
Timmy
got 3. I guess him, Ginobili, and first. Why are we counting Duncan as the best player? We've already been through this. Ginobili's the best player.
Stop.
On this team.
We're not. I'm not going another 30 minutes. We're not getting into that. We're not getting into that.
Close.
All right, so I guess during LeBron's time, so did also
Ginobili beat Duncan in the Olympics.
I'm not starting this. I will walk away. We're not starting
1-1. He beat him in the Olympics.
We will not. We are not starting this.
Finish it up, Chris. What was you about to say?
So I guess, did Parker and Ginobili also get 3 during LeBron's time? Okay. So basically Spurs guys,
the Warriors,
and some Warrior guys, and I guess that's it that had 3.
And then maybe
Durant's got 2.
Kobe got 2.
Kobe's got 2.
Yeah, Kobe got 2.
They all got 2. Okay. Just kind of wondering. All right. Andy, any final thoughts? Suggestions?
Darlington race was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it with the limited crowd.
How was that? Did they tell you? Was you supposed to sit away from people? Like, could you sit with your group, or was there any? Did they tell you any specific
rules?
rules?
They only sold tickets on every other row.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's only a limited 8,000 people maybe.
Right.
So 8,000 people in a 70,000 seat stadium. You feel like you got a nice section.
Plenty of room. Yeah.
Had the ins and outs labeled well. Every other bathroom stall was
blocked
off.
What about the troughs? Do they have pee troughs?
No, they don't.
In Darlington. I know they do in Charlotte.
I don't think they have it in Darlington.
That's a good question. Are the pee troughs closed down? Is that not like the number?
I'm sure they would be if they had such things.
If you got to take a shower 6 feet apart from someone, surely I can't pee within 6 feet.
Concessions had them. Not all of them were open, but it still with only 8,000 people, you were able to get through the line pretty fast.
Right. Darlington's that's so much different area / deal than Charlotte is. Too.
Yeah.
Like there's not as many seats to begin with, and it's more that Darlington makes you feel like you're still watching 80s NASCAR racing, being at that track in the middle of nowhere.
What's the oldest track? Isn't it the oldest track? Still.
It might be. I don't know for sure. Jake Lackey could probably
he would tell us.
We got a bunch of comments down. Andy was over commenting from WHS. For you folks commenting with him, Jake. And we had another guy. He said he wanted to know if showering. This is for Hunter. Is showering with distance really an issue for someone? I mean, if you want to shower all close to me,
I didn't reply to that one. I wasn't sure where to go.
Then we got problems.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's an underlying problem there that just no one wants to address.
All right, guys. If that's all you guys got, we'll get out of here. And thank you guys for coming in on this Labor Day. We'll see Hunter on Wednesday. Andy and Chris, as always, you guys can come in whenever you want and have fun with us. I'm gonna play it off. Play it out here, Hunter. Let's see. Get it out. There we go. Thanks, guys, for watching Shock Joxx, episode 81. Kevin Hastings, Chris Nelson, Andy Sane. We went over NFL predictions for the season, NBA playoffs, touched on a little NASCAR, and had all kinds of fun. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Shock Joxx, KTC broadcast.